The worst places to die in space.
Mars. Mars is the most habitable planet in the solar system besides Earth.
Yeah, it is. I remember I took a trip down there last year around September. Honestly, great place. Little hot. Grounds a little unstable. Very boring planet. There's not that much different scenery. When I talk about natural disasters, bro, like natural disasters are happening like that. You know, so it's not a very fun place, but you know, it's nice to see. You know, you can get a little bit of a different siding that you don't normally see on Earth.
Summer day near the equator, temperatures can reach a comfortable 68 degrees Fahrenheit. You could walk around, check things out, and honestly feel pretty okay. But the air is 95% carbon dioxide.
Right.
So one breath without your helmet, and you'd be out in seconds.
That explained why my cat passed away. R.I.P. Tubular, bruh. I went out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have their helmet strapped on all the way. As soon as we stepped out the ship, I heard a beep, beep, beeping coming from the helmet. I went and I tightened it like immediately, but by then, Tubular was already knocked out. R.I.P. Tubular, bruh.
Radiation is 40 to 50 times higher than on Earth, enough to damage your DNA every hour you're outside.
Wait.
And even though it's freezing, the air pressure is so low that any crack in your suit would cause the liquids in your body to start boiling.
Are you saying that I have permanent semen damage from going to Mars? I have permanent semen damage now. Bro. Oh my gosh. Does it at least turn them to like a vitramite or something? I don't even know what that is. I'm not gonna lie. I just seen it on Twitter. I just know it's from Invincible. I never watched it. My baby better come out mighty. Better not come out like slush. Imagine the baby's coming out and it's just liquidy, bro. It's moving like a slime. Oh no.
Mars also has dust storms that can cover the entire planet for weeks. NASA's Opportunity rover was killed by one in 2018. Its solar panels buried under dust until the power ran out. For a human relying on those same panels, that means no heating, and temperatures drop to minus 200 degrees Fahrenheit.
Dang, I must have been lucky. There weren't no dust storms when I was there.
So now you're in a freezing, dark habitat, breathing air that's slowly getting worse, with the nearest help 7 months away. The moon. The moon is Earth's closest neighbor, sitting about 240,000 miles away.
That's like
There's no atmosphere.
Like a day trip.
Temperatures swing from around 260 degrees Fahrenheit during the day to minus 280 at night.
Great. Oh my
the real
gosh.
threat on the moon isn't the temperature, it's the dust. Billions of years of tiny space rocks smashing into the surface have ground it into a fine powder made of microscopic glass shards.
You know what's crazy about that though? The moon, like he said, in the concept of space, in the world of space, the moon is very close to us, right? And it's getting smashed by giant rocks out the sky, out of space. We're not getting smashed like that. We did take a good one, you know what I'm saying, a few million years back. RIP to my T-Rexes, you know what I'm saying, my pterodactyls and whatnot, my brothers. I hope I can see you again one day. But the moon is really getting smashed. Like the moon don't get no break. As soon as the moon get a water break, it gets hit from the back. We lucky that's not us, because I need my water breaks, personally.
Unlike sand on Earth, which gets worn smooth by wind and water, lunar dust has never been smoothed down. The particles are so small they can pass through most filters. It also sticks to everything it touches, including your suit, helmet, and gear. During the Apollo missions, just 3 days of moonwalks were enough to almost lock up the suit joints.
Oh my gosh!
Every time the astronauts came back inside, they brought the dust with them. They said it smelled like spent gunpowder. If you're breathing that in...
Gunpowder? Oh yeah, I know America going crazy in Area 51 getting gunpowder from the moon, bro. Oh my goodness.
It tears through your lung tissue like ground up broken glass, scarring it a little more with every breath.
Hello?
Over time, your lungs slowly lose the ability to take in oxygen.
I'm so glad I went to Mars instead. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad I went to Mars instead.
Saturn is the second largest planet in the solar system. And before you even get close to it...
Imagine walking butt booty naked on the moon. Does that mean glass shards are gonna go inside your... Bro, imagine glass shards on your butthole, bro. Every time you poo, it pushes the glass shards in your butt. My fault, bro. My fault. That's on me. That's on me.
You have to deal with its rings. They're made of billions of chunks of ice and rock.
Yes.
Some as small as
Which
a
is
grain
hard.
of dust. Others the size of a house.
Okay.
These chunks move at up to 45,000 miles per hour.
Is Saturn an earth and waterbender? Hold on, Saturn. Okay, if there was an alien born on Saturn, he would be the Avatar. Okay.
Any one of them hitting your ship would be enough to destroy it. If you make it past the rings, the planet itself isn't any safer. Saturn's atmosphere is mostly hydrogen and helium.
Yeah, isn't like a gas planet?
At the top.
So that means no one can be born on the planet because you would just, like, it's just gas. You would just fall into it infinitely.
Temperatures drop to minus 418 degrees Fahrenheit. As you fall deeper,
418?
winds pick up to around 1,100 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's a gassy planet.
5 times stronger than the most powerful hurricanes on Earth, enough to throw your spacecraft completely out of control. Below that, the pressure keeps building. The gases around you get thicker and thicker until they turn into liquid. Your ship and suit would be crushed long before you ever reach the core, where temperatures hit around 21,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
I would hope we would never hit the core of any planet, personally.
HD 18973.
Who? Over here have an industry plant of a planet. That thing is not real. That's a marble. I used to play with those when I was a kid, Mr. HD 189733B. Don't forget that. Come on, bro.
33B. HD 1897333b is a gas giant about 64 light years from Earth.
We're talking about gas planets again, bro. I'm not worried about no gassy planet. I'll outgas a planet. Let's go toot for toot.
Slightly larger than Jupiter. From a distance, it looks bright blue, almost exactly like our own planet. But that color has nothing to do with water.
Oh, it does kinda.
It comes from tiny particles of glass floating in the atmosphere.
Why is glass everywhere? The way this is making it sounds like glass is one of the most common forms of matter in the universe. You know what I'm saying? Because everything just has the glass particles. And when you really think about that, that's really cool. Because glass for us, we had to go out our way to make glass where other planets just has glass. Oh, that's kind of cool.
The planet is tidally locked, meaning one side always faces its star. On that side, temperatures reach around 1,700
1,700?
Hot enough to turn rock into gas. As that gas rises and cools, it hardens into tiny glass shards that get caught in winds, blowing up to 5,400 miles per hour.
Love me some
about
glass.
7 times the speed of sound. So instead of rain...
Sorry, what?
About 7 times the speed of sound.
Glass moving at the speed of sound. I don't even know what the speed of sound looks like. What does the speed of sound look like? Let me see if I can find something moving at the speed of sound. 7 times the speed of sound? Okay, this is the speed of sound. Okay. This has not really helped me that much, I'm not gonna lie. Mach 10, speed sound. Okay, so I'm pretty sure there's like jets and things that can go Mach 10. So 10 times the speed of sound. Okay, so. All right, so this is like a light jog. How many hours is the speed of sound? 767 miles per hour. Oh, okay. I know what the speed of sound look like now. Yeah, the speed of sound looks like me when I go on an evening jog. Okay.
So instead of rain falling down like on Earth, HD 1897333b has glass flying at you sideways at over a mile per second. At those speeds, the shards would tear through your spacesuit and your body in seconds. These winds circle the entire planet, so there's no calm spot to fly toward. And since it's a gas giant, there's no solid surface to land on either.
Nope.
The Oort cloud.
Could you swim it?
The Oort cloud is the farthest edge of our...
Because Oort either sounds dorky or clean. I can't decide which one it is. I can't decide if it's a dorky or a clean name.
Solar system. A huge shell of icy objects. Oort cloud is the farthest edge of our solar system.
Oh, nice.
A huge shell of icy objects starting about 2,000 times farther from the sun than Earth. Out here, the sun looks like just another star. Temperatures sit close to minus 450 degrees Fahrenheit, just above absolute zero, the coldest anything can possibly get.
Oh, the coldest anything can possibly get. Right before my diamond chain, of course. I don't have it on right now, but trust, like, it's icy, bro. I'll put it on my neck. I go, I can hardly breathe. That's why you'll never see it with me, see it on me, because it's so cold.
But the real problem isn't the cold. It's the emptiness. There are no planets, moons, or landmarks anywhere nearby.
I think it's lonely, like
just
depressing.
A few chunks of ice spread across trillions of miles of dark, silent space.
What if, like, planets can communicate with each other? Just in a language we can't perceive. What's so crazy about life is that we think we know so much, but we don't know nothing at all still. So that is a plausibility. That's the one thing about life. It's hard to write anything completely off. You know, because who says planets can't? Because if planets hold life, why can't the planet be life? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it can hold it, why can't it be life? Who knows? Who knows? What if in the Earth's core it's beating? We don't know. We might know, bro. Some scientists probably went to the Earth's core, probably gave them a little bit of Earth coreness, you know, got a little sample, ate it or something like that. I'm talking about nothing.
Voyager 1, the farthest object humans have ever launched, has been traveling over 47 years and still hasn't reached it. At its current speed, it would take about 300 more years just to get to the inner edge. If your ship broke down out here, no one could get to you. No distress signal would arrive in time.
Hold up. How tanky is that whatchamacallit we sent to space for it to be up there for 47 years and just straight going? How tanky is that? Cause cars be breaking down every day. How are cars breaking down? But the thing we sent into space just going that way. 47, just going that way. 47 years and no breaking down? I'm calling BS. Somebody's lying. Either make our cars better, or that thing has been lost in somewhere's gravity and they're lying to us. One or the other.
Be stuck with whatever food, water, and oxygen you had left, watching it all slowly run out. Nothing out here kills you fast. You'd most likely die of suffocation once the oxygen was gone.
Oh, no.
Enceladus. Enceladus is one of Saturn's...
Is it Enceladus or Enceladus? Which one is it?
Enceladus. Enceladus is...
Which one's the right one? Enceladus or Enceladus? I like Enceladus more. Enceladus is kind of Yo, hold up. It's shining from the bottom. Is that real? Does it have like a real shine? This planet look like... I don't want to talk about what this planet look like, actually.
One of Saturn's moons. Only about 314 miles across. Small enough to fit inside the state of Texas.
Oh, nice.
The surface is covered in ice at around minus 330 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's where they got. That's where they got the structure for my chain from. I love to be able to show y'all, but it's so cold that I can't even bring it in here. But that's where they got the metals from my chain from.
So your suit is the only thing keeping you alive. Saturn's gravity constantly pulls and squeezes this tiny moon, which causes cracks in the surface.
It's cracking its own moon?
South Pole. Through those cracks,
I'd never
huge
cracked my
geysers
moon.
blast ice and gas into space. The gravity here is so weak that some of this stuff drifts far enough to become part of Saturn's rings.
What the world?
These geysers aren't just ice and water vapor.
So basically, Saturn's slowly destroying one of its moons.
Scientists have found hydrogen cyanide in the mix, the same chemical used in poison gas. If one of those blasts hit you, the gas alone would kill you within a minute.
Wow.
And if it didn't, the wave of freezing material would lock your body in ice almost instantly.
Yo,
At that point,
the universe is
the
so
same weak gravity
unforgiving.
that sends geyser material into Saturn's rings could do the same to you. A supernova. A supernova is what
Isn't that when a
happens
star
when a
dies?
massive star runs out of fuel
Yeah.
and explodes. In just a few seconds.
Like, first off, why does it explode? Like, people die every day and they don't be exploding. So why does the star gotta explode? That's selfish, low-key. Why can't it just stay to itself? Why does that have to affect everybody else? Car batteries die all the time. You don't see it exploding. I'm just saying. We've seen so many animals die and them not explode. This supernova is tweaking, bruh.
It can release more energy than our sun will produce in its entire 10 billion year lifetime.
Sorry, what? More energy than the sun? Excuse me? Like the whole lifetime. You know what's crazy? It's so crazy when you sit down and think that Earth has an end date. Like, it has an end. Like, Earth literally, no matter what, is done. It's going to be cooked one day. That will give some people anxiety. Like, dang, like literally everything we ever known or will know will come to an end. That's going to give people anxiety. I am people. I am people.
That energy comes out as a blast of radiation and high-speed particles, with the gamma rays and X-rays traveling at the speed of light. That's what makes it so dangerous. Because that radiation moves at the speed of light, there's no way to see it coming. By the time you could detect it,
dead.
It's already hitting you.
Yeah.
Within a few light years of the explosion, it would break apart every atom in your body almost instantly.
Holy.
Nothing we know of is thick enough to block it. Even farther out, the damage is huge. Up to about 50 light years away,
you know, like, that's what I'm saying, bro. These stars are selfish, bro. Like, extremely selfish. Cause why are y'all passing away and causing harm to everything around you in a radius, bro? Stay over there, man. So since it's producing out X-rays, does that mean we could see the bones of anything that goes, like, that it passes through since they're X-rays? I'll play the video.
Supernova can destroy a planet's ozone layer and flood the surface with enough radiation to cause mass extinction.
That's just hating.
Some scientists think this actually happened on Earth about 450 million years ago, wiping out around 85% of all marine life. Titan. Titan is Saturn's largest moon and the only moon in the solar system with a thick atmosphere. It's bigger than Mercury.
I actually know about it.
And in
Titan.
a lot of ways looks surprisingly like Earth. It has clouds, rain,
rivers,
that's
cool.
lakes, and even shorelines.
Oh, let's live
but
there.
None of it is water. The rain is liquid methane, and the lakes and rivers are filled with it too. The temperature.
Hold up. Okay, look. NASA, I have a crazy business proposal. All right, I have a crazy business proposal. Y'all are gonna want to hear me out, man.
Temperature sits at around minus 290 degrees Fahrenheit, which is cold enough to make methane behave the way water does here on Earth. The atmosphere is mostly nitrogen, similar to Earth's. The pressure is about 1.5 times what you'd feel at sea level, so you could walk around without a pressurized suit, but the cold would kill you in minutes without heavy thermal protection. Liquid methane is also about half the density of water, so if you fell into one of Titan's lakes, you wouldn't float. You'd sink straight down and freeze solid within seconds.
It's literally like quicksand. They have quicksand puddles, bro. I feel bad for the first person who finds this out. And I mean, we already know about it, I should say, but the first person who actually goes on Titan and walks around and they're gonna see an area they think it's okay to step on, but really it's just like, it's a slightly different color. He didn't notice that there's a slight color change. He steps on it and he just knows it's over the moment he steps on it. Maybe we'll have like boot thrusters by then and then they can get caught in there.
And because of the thick orange haze in the atmosphere, you can't see the sun, Saturn, or anything above you from the surface.
What?
The sun. The sun is a ball of plasma, about 864,000 miles across, over 100 times the diameter of Earth. There's no solid ground to stand on.
How long does it take a plane to travel around the sun?
Outside layer of plasma. Before you even got close, you'd have to pass through the corona, a layer of gas that reaches around 3.6 million degrees Fahrenheit, way hotter than the surface. NASA's Parker Solar Probe got within about...
Okay, so the corona is hotter than the surface of the sun?
Way hotter than the surface.
Okay.
NASA's Parker Solar Probe got within about 4 million miles in 2024.
Oh, Waka, how did you not know that? We learned this in grade school. It's been years! It's been years, man! I don't think about the surface of the sun or corona, especially if it's not the virus.
The closest any spacecraft has ever been. The surface sits at around 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to boil pretty much anything,
that hot.
Including diamond. The gravity is about...
Yeah, but like 10,000, that's like comparatively to the corona. Shout out Big C. Can I say that? Shout out. I'm gonna not say that. We're gonna act like I didn't say that.
28 times stronger than Earth's. But the heat would kill you long before that mattered.
Of course.
Your spacesuit would start to char within 1/10 of a millisecond. Within half a millisecond, boiling plasma would hit your body.
Half a millisecond?
By 10 milliseconds, your flesh, bones, and suit would all be turned to gas. Your nerves can't send pain signals that fast, so you'd be gone before your brain knew something was wrong.
Oh, at least that's good, right?
Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system, about 89,000 miles across, over 11 times wider than Earth. It's a gas giant, so there's no solid surface.
Do they still say Jupiter is where you get stupider? Like girls go to Jupiter to get more stupider or whatever? Is that still a thing? Or like, or have we moved on? Have we moved on from that? Is that gone in the olden texts? That might be olden text, bro. That might not be around no more.
Surface, just layers of gas that get thicker as you go down. But before you even enter the atmosphere, the radiation is already a problem. Jupiter's magnetic field is about 20,000 times stronger than Earth's, trapping enough radiation to give you a deadly dose from 186,000 miles away.
Holy!
Your electronics would stop working, and your organs would start failing soon after. If you somehow made it into the atmosphere, you'd hit winds up to 400 miles per hour strong enough to rip your ship apart, and lightning bolts wider than Earth that could fry everything inside it.
Did you say lightning bolts wider than Earth? Hold on, wait. lightning, like ka-chow, wider than the planet. I know I didn't hear that word, or I didn't hear that right. I did.
And lightning bolts wider than Earth.
Why? Like, actually, why? Like, sit down and think about, like, why are planets like that? Like, why? Like, why is it just having constant storms and winds? Like, for what? What is there to be gained? Unless it's a living thing, doesn't have to be breathing, a living thing that's angry all the time. Lightning bolts wider than Earth. Like, that just, I want to see it. Does anyone got a picture? You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Picture of lightning on Jupiter. I'm gonna need proof, bro. I don't think we got good, but you know, okay, I know what I was gonna say. You know what's cute? How similar these planets are. Like, cause what do you mean Earth and Jupiter both have lightning? Like, they don't both have to have lightning. Like, is that not cute, bro? You can't tell me the planets aren't in a group chat texting each other like, oh guys, I'm gonna let off a little lightning today. I'm gonna let off a little lightning. What about you? What about you, Pluto? And then Pluto's there just like, I thought I wasn't a planet. Just over there, the little brother nobody cares about. Poor Pluto, bro. Pluto, you'll always be a planet in my heart. I don't care what people say. Dwarf planet. It's not a real planet. Because it's a dwarf, it's not a real planet? That sounds crazy to me.
That could fry everything inside it. The gravity is 2.4 times stronger, so you'd be falling
we could
fast
do some
with
weighted
nothing
training.
to land on.
Oh,
NASA's
wait, it's
Galileo
gas
probe
planet.
made it about 87 miles in and lasted
Ooh.
58 minutes before the pressure and heat destroyed it. Below that, the gas slowly thickens into liquid and eventually into liquid metal.
How long did it take to get there, though? That's what I want to know.
Cooked long before reaching the core. A magnetar. A magnetar is a type of neutron star, the leftover core of a massive star that exploded. It's only about...
So you're telling me when the star explodes, it causes a problem, and then its remnants causes a problem? Like, what? We have to kill its kids too?
12 miles across, but so dense that a single teaspoon of its material would weigh about 5.5 billion tons.
What does that even mean? A teaspoon weighs billions of tons? Like, what are we talking about? What do you mean it's that dense? A teaspoon. That means if you got a teaspoon and you put it in your teaspoon, it's falling through the earth. It's crushing the earth. The earth might explode. That's how heavy it is. From a teaspoon. Keep it away from my kitchen, bruh. Don't be near my silverware.
Its magnetic field is up to a quadrillion or 1,000 trillion times stronger than Earth's.
We're just
making
saying
it
numbers.
the strongest magnetic force in the known universe.
We're just making numbers now.
That kind of force changes the shape of your atoms. From thousands of miles away, the field would already fry every piece of electronics on your ship.
Magnetar.
At about 600 miles, it's strong enough to squeeze the normally round atoms in your body.
You know how hard something has to be in astrology for it to get its own name without numbers? Like supernova, black hole, white hole, magnetar. Once you get out of our solar system, names just start being names with numbers and random letters. That's how hard it is. Astronomy, my fault, not astrology. Astrology is the, or is it, are they not hand in hand? Who cares?
Into long, thin, needle-like shapes. Once that happens, the bonds that hold your molecules together stop working. Everything in your body, from your DNA down to individual cells, falls apart at once.
Why does it exist?
And nothing visibly touches you the entire time.
What does the magnetar
There's no
gain?
material that can block a magnetic field this strong.
Of course.
In 2004, a magnetar called SGR 180620 released a burst that stripped atoms apart in Earth's upper atmosphere from 50,000 light years away.
They already hit us in 04? They already hit us? Oh, brother, bro. Can we tell SGR to relax, okay? Relax. I'm trying to see SGA win another finals first. Good one. Oh, man. I don't really care if SGA wins another finals. I just thought it was like a, you know, play on letters, you know what I mean? Because like, I'm a comedic genius off the top. Didn't really have to think too hard about that one. I know. Low-key, it already hit us. Man, we tanked that. Yo, Big E really stopping things. Hey, shout out Earth, bro. Big E tanked that, bruh. Big E tanking it. Okay. Now that I think about it, Hold on, our planet different, bro. We really tanking things over here, eh? Big E!
Venus. Venus is often called Earth's twin because of its similar size and
Turning
gravity,
out.
but the surface...
I'm telling you, Earth and Venus are really, they don't even be texting the group chat to each other. They be texting each other directly, bro. Turning out.
is nothing like Earth's. The temperature sits at around 860 degrees Fahrenheit,
That's a
hotter
little
than
hot.
Mercury, even though Venus is nearly twice as far from the sun. That's because the atmosphere is 96% carbon dioxide, which traps heat
CO2.
so well that it doesn't matter whether you're on the day side or the night side.
It's still
The
gonna
air
be
pressure is
300
about
degrees.
92 times what you'd feel at sea level on Earth, the same as being about 3,000 feet underwater. The air is so thick that just moving through it would feel like pushing through a heavy liquid. That pressure would start crushing your suit almost instantly. At the same time, the heat would be cooking through it from the outside. And the clouds above you are made of sulfuric acid, which would eat through whatever was left. The Soviet Venera...
Nah, Venus is toxic, bro. We texting Venus on the side and they're just cussing us out. We're telling Venus like, hey, bro, you gotta stop making fun of Pluto. And Venus is like, F Pluto, F what he stands for, because why are you raining acid, dog?
13 probe was built to survive these conditions and lasted just 127 minutes. A human in a regular spacesuit wouldn't last a single breath.
Of course.
Io. Io is one of Jupiter's moons.
Hold up, that's one of the ugliest things I've ever seen. Io, wait, no, never mind, no disrespect, Io. Hey, leave me alone, bro. Leave me alone, leave me alone. I don't want no problems, Io. I'm just saying, you look like something at a Total Drama Island where they're like, if you lose this challenge, you have to eat Io. Or it's gonna be like, okay, this challenge, guys, hey campers, the first one to completely eat 10 Ios gets immunity for the rest of the day. Like, that's what this looks like. It looks like something out of a cartoon. It looked like a mean booger. Is that a dragon? There has to be dragons on one of these planets. They gotta be.
Is one of Jupiter's moons, about the same size as Earth's moon.
My fault.
It's the most
Either or.
volcanically active place in the solar system.
There gotta be
with
dragons
over
on it.
400 active volcanoes across its surface. Some of them erupt lava at around 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than any volcano on modern Earth, and launch plumes over 300 miles into space. The lava is also...
It shoots up 300 miles? I'm not gonna lie, that gotta be one angry moon, bro. That moon gotta be angry, dog. Why is it shooting 300 miles? It sounds like it has a statement it's trying to make. You think it's trying to talk to our moon? Like Io trying to cuss out our moon? Hey, oh, you better not touch my moon. Big E will come to the defense. Big E runs this solar system, bruh. So don't mess with him or the moons.
loaded with
Moon, we only got one.
sulfur compounds that would eat through a spacesuit on contact. The reason for all this activity is Jupiter. Its massive gravity constantly pulls and stretches Io, warping the surface by as much as 330 feet with every 42-hour orbit. That's enough to crack the ground open beneath your feet without warning. Some of the lava lakes are over 100 miles wide. On
You
top
get
of
close
that,
to Jupiter,
Io sits
dog.
inside Jupiter's radiation belts, which deliver about 5 times the lethal radiation dose for a human every 24 hours. So even
You
if
get
the
close to
volcanoes
Jupiter,
didn't get
you're
you,
not getting
and
out.
the ground didn't split open beneath you, the radiation would. There's no atmosphere to protect you from any of it. Europa. Europa is one of Jupiter's moons,
Of
about
course.
the size of Earth's moon. The surface is a shell of ice, roughly
Yo,
10 to 15
Jupiter
miles thick,
hogging all the
covered in
moons.
cracks from the constant pull of Jupiter's gravity. Underneath that ice is a
Jupiter in real life has a slave of moons, and he just cracking them, just breaking them down, abusing. Yo, Jupiter a prick. I'm not gonna lie. And then Jupiter doesn't allow you to get away from him either. So it's cracking and cracking and cracking, and you can't escape. Hey, Big E, you gonna have to run the ones with Jupiter. I'm not gonna lie. You gonna have to put Jupiter in his place. Nah, Big E probably can't touch young Jupe. I don't know if we can touch young Jupe, bro. Young Jupe got weight on him. We in a different weight class, dog.
liquid saltwater ocean that could be up to 60 miles deep. The surface temperature sits at around minus 260 degrees Fahrenheit. If one of those cracks opened beneath you and you fell through, you'd drop into a pitch-black ocean with no way to tell which direction is up. The water is near freezing, and the ice above you is miles thick, so no radio signal could get through. No one on the surface could reach you, and no technology exists that could drill through that much ice fast enough to help. In water that cold, you'd stay conscious for a few minutes before drowning. Your
Low
body
key? What if I'm on Jupiter's neck too hard? What if, look. What if Jupiter is Big E's bodyguard? Every time anything big and dangerous gets into the solar system that could hurt the Big E, Jupiter says, nope, join my rings. Okay, never mind. Hey, nah, Jupe might be our, hold on, okay, so Jupe is like that, bro. So Jupe is really like, Jupe is like our older brother. I take back what I was saying, Jupe. I appreciate your hard work. Which other planet has rings? Is it Neptune? Hey, Neptune don't get no love, right? I don't think Neptune be getting loved on for real. What's the other planet that has rings? Saturn and Jupiter. Dang, Neptune don't got no rings either, so it's not getting love at all.
never be recovered. Scientists also believe this ocean could support life, meaning a human body down there could contaminate the only other ocean in the solar system that might have something living in it.
Wait, Jupe, you didn't let us know that, Jupe. Hey, Jupe, you didn't let us know you could have life, Jupe. Hey, I'm trying to see what your fish look like, Jupe. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm trying to see what your fish look like. I know you have to have a Leviathan down there, man. You gotta have a giant Kraken.
A black hole. A black hole is what's left behind when a massive star collapses in on itself.
Right.
Its gravity is so strong that nothing can escape it, not even light. The point where escape becomes impossible is called the event horizon. What kills you is the difference in gravity between one end of your body and the other. As you
Okay.
get closer, the pull on your feet becomes so much stronger than the pull on your head that your body starts to stretch. Scientists call this spaghettification. The force would pull your spine apart and tear through your muscles until your body.
You're telling me spaghetti is so iconic that we're calling us dying in a stretchy way, spaghettification. We're running out of words. We're running out of adjectives, guys.
Body snapped at the midsection. Then each half would snap again and again until you were stretched into a thin stream of atoms spiraling into the center. For a distant observer watching you fall, something strange would happen. Your image would appear to slow down near the event horizon, eventually seeming to freeze there. Over time, your light would shift from visible to infrared to radio waves,
What?
slowly fading but never fully disappearing.
What?
If you'd like to see more videos
What?
like
Hold
this,
on, no, because what do you mean? So our atoms are split apart and sucked in, but the visual of our body just fades? Yeah, nah, bro, that's... All this video is an anxiety inducer. That's all this is giving me. Hey, let me give you a way to you know what I'm saying, make your heart beat a little bit harder. The most disturbing planets ever found. What makes a planet disturbing is my question.
HD 188753AB.
What does AB
If
stand
you were
for?
standing on the surface of this planet, you
Talk
would
to me.
witness something that seems impossible.
Talk
The
to me.
sun would set over the horizon, only to be immediately followed by a second sun and then a third one. This
Ooh, okay.
planet is the first
That's
one
lit.
ever reported in a tight triple star system, meaning that it has not one, not two, but three suns. More specifically,
Yo, it's like the moons on planet Namek. Talk
there is
to
a
me.
main yellow star, very similar to our own sun. And then, orbiting nearby are two smaller stars that dance around each other, both
That's Aura.
circling the main yellow star.
That's
If you
Aura.
could survive on a hypothetical moon orbiting this giant, your shadow would split into three different directions.
That's
and
hard.
True darkness might never come, as the different suns took turns lighting up the sky. Its existence also raised an unsolved scientific mystery. The planet itself is a gas giant, slightly heavier than Jupiter, and it's
Oh,
so
how-
close to its stars that it completes
How do we know it's heavier? Who brought the scale? How do we know its weight? What scale are y'all using?
a full lap around the main one in just 3.5 days. It's this proximity that creates the unsolved problem. According to the rules of how planets form, gas giants are supposed to grow far away from their stars in cold areas where there is plenty of dust and gas.
Okay.
Later, they drift inward. But in this system, the two other stars are so close that they would have cut off the supply of dust needed to build a planet. There simply should not have been enough room or material for this world to grow, yet the data suggested it was there. However,
What if it's not gas? What if it's a form of matter that we don't know yet? Called Knuth. And what is Knuth? I don't know, but it's not liquid, gas, or a solid. It's Knuth. I'm on to something.
we haven't talked about the most disturbing thing about this planet yet. It might be a ghost. After they announced the discovery,
What? It might just not be real. We somehow calculated the weights, the orbits, the distance, but it also could be fake. So what I'm assuming what they mean by it's being a ghost is that it's a planet that's already dead, but since it's 150 million light years away, it like we're just seeing what it used to be. You know what I mean? That's what I'm guessing.
In 2005, another team of astronomers tried to find it again in 2007. They used very precise instruments, but found absolutely nothing. They claimed that if the planet was real, they would have seen it. No update has confirmed it since, and the unsolved scientific mystery remains.
So wait, they did a breakdown on the solar system, they did a breakdown on the suns, they did a breakdown on its weight, and now they can't find it. That's not crazy to say. There's so many stars, there's so many moons, there's so many planets. That's not that crazy, actually.
HD 80,606b.
Like, what makes it HD? There's nothing high definition about this.
This planet is also known as the Whiplash Planet, and you'll soon understand why.
I can see
why. The weather
why.
can go from freezing cold to an explosion of extreme heat within hours. That's because, while most planets, including Earth, travel in a nice, steady circle around their star, this planet follows a path
does
that is
one
incredibly
solid
stretched
way.
out, looking more like the orbit of a comet than a
Oh,
planet.
that's what you mean.
For about 100 days, it drifts far away from its sun, floating in the freezing cold darkness, but then it begins a terrifying dive. In a span of just 20 hours, it blasts toward its star,
20
swings around it
hours?
at a dangerously close distance, and then slingshots back out into the void. This close approach is violent. The planet gets so close that if the Earth were in that position, our atmosphere would be ripped away and the surface would be instantly melted into magma. For this planet, the approach acts like a...
I wonder what animals live on this planet, right? And let me guess.
They haven't found life yet.
What if our telescopes just don't zoom in far enough, okay? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we just don't get a close enough look. Maybe there is a couple of fish in there.
Sudden explosion of energy. In just 6 hours, the temperature on the side facing the star skyrockets from roughly 932 degrees Fahrenheit to over 2,000. The star blasts the planet with more than 1,000 times the energy the Earth receives from the sun. If you were floating in the cloud tops, you would watch the sun swell up rapidly until it looked 30 times larger than it does in our sky.
That would be terrifying, bro. Imagine we all go outside together and we're looking at the moon, because we can't stare at the sun. We're looking at the moon and it's just getting closer. There was someday like the full moon felt so close that I got a little nervous. I was like, what's going on up there? Why does it look so prominent tonight? What am I missing? This is looking a little too big.
It's called shockwave storms. Because the heat hits so fast, the atmosphere cannot handle it, and winds erupt from the hot zone at speeds of 11,000 miles per hour. Then, almost as quickly as it started, the planet flies away. It cools down so fast in less than 10 hours that it actually becomes invisible to infrared space telescopes like Spitzer.
How does getting colder make you invisible? Is it because like we're able to recognize it because of the hotness, heat, magma, and all like the light that's produced off of that? Is that how we're able to recognize it? So
astronomers are baffled by this planet because usually the gravity of the star should squeeze the planet and eventually force its orbit to become a circle. However, this planet seems to be very stiff rather than squishy, meaning it resists that change and could be trapped in this torture loop for another 10 billion years.
And sometimes I think of planets and like all this orbiting, I'm just like, why? Like, why does it happen? For what? How did the universe start? You know what I mean? Like
ESRB 1257+1.
The planets are skulls. I know this is about to be wicked.
Astronomers named this star and its planets after monsters and the undead, and for good reason. The central star, named Lich, after a fictional creature that uses magic.
Yo, what fantasy reader, what book talker made these names? That's what Yo!
Control the Dead is a pulsar, which is a type of neutron star that acts like a lighthouse in space. It spins incredibly fast, rotating about 160 times every single second. It is also incredibly hot, with temperatures reaching nearly 52,200 degrees Fahrenheit.
In that amount of time, it spun like 1,000 times since he said it spins. Like, why does it spin like that?
Orbiting it are 3 planets that were the very first
Poltergeist? Exoplanets
ever confirmed, discovered back in the early 90s. To help you understand why they're called zombie planets, here's what would happen if you stood on one. You would be bathed in constant deadly radiation from the star that sterilizes everything. Looking up at the sky would be maddening. Since the star spins so fast while shooting out beams of energy, it would not look like a steady sun. It would look like a violent strobe light flashing 160 times a second, lighting up the alien landscape in a rapid fire pulse. These planets are basically zombies themselves. They likely formed from the debris left over after 2 white dwarf stars crashed into each other and merged billions of years ago.
2 white dwarf stars crashed in together. What's a white dwarf star? A white dwarf is a very dense type of star in Earth-size volume. It packs a mass that is comparable to the sun. Gotcha.
Tres 2b.
Yo, that's why when I be reading manga, there's like they use a lot of mythology in manga, and they be using like, I think there's something called the White Star Stream or something like that in something I read.
Tres 2b is a gas giant similar in size to Jupiter, but it looks nothing like the planets in our own system.
What does
In
that mean?
2011, astronomers identified it as the darkest exoplanet ever discovered. This alien world is basically pitch black,
Yo, that's
reflecting
hard.
less than 1% of the light that falls on it.
Yo,
This
that's
makes
like
it
my
darker than a
tense.
piece of coal or even black acrylic paint. What makes this more disturbing
do you get
is
blacker
that we're
than
not
black?
100% sure of why it's this dark. Nonetheless, we know that it's so close to its star that the temperature on the surface is over 1,790 degrees Fahrenheit. This intense heat means that reflective
It's an oil planet! You see how that triggered the United States?
clouds made of ammonia simply cannot form. Instead, the atmosphere is likely filled with light-absorbing chemicals like vaporized sodium and potassium or gaseous titanium oxide. However, even these chemicals cannot fully explain why the planet is as black as it is, and the true cause remains a mystery. If you were to float near it, though, you likely wouldn't see a totally black sphere. Since
Right.
the planet is so hot, it emits a faint and dim
That's
red glow.
hard.
It
That's
would
so
look like
cool.
a giant burning ember or the hot coils of an electric stove floating in the void. WASP
Oh,
17b.
I'm brick.
WASP 17b, also called Ditso, a name from Talamancan mythology referring to a
Ditso?
god who gave names to the first people, is one of the weirdest planets in space. Two things make this planet pretty peculiar. One
Talk
is
to
that
me.
it was the first discovered planet with a retrograde orbit. In almost every star system we observe,
I'm hoping you're about to explain what retrograde means. But if I were to guess, I would say like they have a fixed orbit and the planet doesn't rotate.
planets travel around their star in the same direction that the star itself spins. However, Ditso moves
This one's
in
the
the completely
opposite.
direction.
So he's different off rip. Hey, nah, did so different. Okay.
This discovery shocked scientists because it challenged the traditional rules of how planets form. So
And you see what I'm talking about? Like, we have set rules to decide like what theoretically is what. But there could be one discovery which throws off, like, I shouldn't say all the rules, but it could throw off like the very center of what we know. Something like that's gonna be figured out in like 30 years, and then we're gonna have to go through everything we've gone through in history and figured out scientific wise. Yeah, I'm talking about me especially, because in about 30 years I'm gonna find something out, and I'm like, okay, now we have to tear this whole thing down brick by brick, so Waka Waka Moon V2 can put it right back together. Yeah, bro, I'm thinking about it getting me stressed out. I'm not gonna think about it too hard.
suggesting that this world had a violent history. Astronomers believe it may have been thrown into this backward loop after a near collision with another planet or a gravitational struggle that flung it off its original path. The second thing is that despite the planet being a huge monster, being almost twice as wide as Jupiter, thus making it one of the largest planets ever found, it's incredibly light, with just half of Jupiter's mass.
Like,
This makes
how
it
do you
extremely
know
puffy,
that?
with
I
a
don't
density
get it.
so low that if you could find a bathtub big enough to hold it, the entire planet would float on water like a beach ball. However, this planet is
If we got a solar system sized bathtub, this planet would float in that bathtub. What do I do with that information? Now I need to know what planets can and can't float in bathtubs. Like, I don't get it. Maybe my brain don't work for real, because that explanation didn't do nothing for me. I get it's light though. I get it's very light, not dense whatsoever.
isn't innocuous. Its atmosphere is a nightmare of heat and glass. And in 2023, the James Webb Space Telescope detected clouds made of quartz. Because
Clouds made of quartz that we be using on our like island, like kitchen No, that's a crazy planet. Hey, no, WASP 17b, bro. I need you to stay here. I need you to I don't know what I need you to do. I'm trying to get to you, bro. I'm trying to ride your clouds. Clouds full of quartz. Oh, that's nasty.
the planet is scorching hot, with temperatures around 2,700 degrees Fahrenheit, these crystals form directly from gas. WASP 127b.
Oh, here we go. I guess we're in the same
atmosphere
solar
of this
system or
planet is
something.
being ripped around at speeds that break every planetary record we know. On here,
What?
winds scream around the equator at up to 20,500 miles per hour, fast
Wow.
enough to cross Earth from one side to the other in well under an hour. This
Wow.
is the fastest jet stream ever measured on a planet. Also, that wind is incredibly hot. The planet is a gas giant that's close enough to its star that 1 year is just 4 days, and its atmosphere is around 2,000 degrees.
There's too many
Fahrenheit.
gas giants, man.
Astronomers discovered
I need
these
something
winds by
solid.
watching how starlight passes through the planet's atmosphere during a transit. Part of the gas was moving toward us, part moving away, both at enormous speed. The only explanation that fits is a powerful supersonic jet stream racing around the equator. These winds move almost 6 times faster than the planet itself rotates. For comparison, the fastest winds ever measured in our own solar system on Neptune are only about 1,100 miles
my
per
gosh.
hour. On WASP 127b, that would count as a gentle breeze. The planet's weather is not uniform either. Observations show that the poles are cooler than the rest of the planet, and there is even a measurable temperature difference between the morning side and the evening side.
Nice. So it's livable.
436b.
That planet looks hard.
The phrase hot burning ice sounds like a paradox, but strange as it sounds, it's actually happening on Gliese 436b.
You can definitely not say it must have been the wind, because by the time you try to say it, you're dead. That's not no wind, bro. That was the wind. Must have been the wind.
This planet is also known as Awahali, which is the Cherokee word for eagle. The name is
Okay.
perfect because of a legend where an eagle flies to the sun and the sun kisses its tail feather. That is
What?
exactly what is happening here because the star
What?
is blasting the planet with so much radiation that it has created a gigantic cloud of hydrogen gas trailing behind it. This tail is longer than 8 million miles, making the planet look more like a
Like a
colossal
comet? Right.
It is losing its air at a terrifying rate because it sits dangerously close to the star, only about 3% of the distance between Earth and the Sun. Also, while the planet is roughly the size of Neptune, it behaves in a way that breaks the rules of a normal solar system. Instead
Right.
of circling
Everything's
around
breaking the
middle or
rules.
equator of
Like,
the star,
how is it? Then the rules are wrong. Like, you say breaking the rules, but if the planet's breaking the rules, then the rules sound like they're not the right rules. It sounds like the rules are wrong.
like a normal planet, it travels over the star's poles, moving in a nearly vertical, perpendicular loop. It is literally orbiting sideways compared to how it should be. The paradox we talked about previously is because while the temperature is around 820 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hot enough to melt lead, scientists believe the interior might be made of hot ice. The gravity and pressure are so crushing that water is squeezed into a solid state, even though it is burning hot. The atmosphere is also chemically wrong, filled
That's
with carbon
interesting.
monoxide instead of the methane that models predict should be there.
The gravity's so dense that it's turning water to ice? Hot ice? I was told water only turns to ice under freezing temperatures. That's the only thing we need to know for, Earth. Our planet. That's hard.
Astronomers believe this planet did not start out this way. It is likely that a hidden massive companion planet pushed it out of its safe orbit and threw it into this dangerous path, forcing it to be slowly eaten alive
Got
by
abused.
its own star while the culprit hides
Wow.
in the dark. KOI 55.
Can we not see the culprit? Or was it too long ago? We really need to build a time machine to look at these stars.
KOI 55 is a planet that survived the impossible, being eaten alive. It
What?
orbited a star known as a subdwarf B star, which was so hot that it burned nearly 6 times hotter than the sun. Then,
Of
18
course.
million years ago, this star expanded even more and turned into a red giant. When this
Okay.
happened, KOI 55 didn't just get close to the burning star, but it actually plunged deep inside the star's layers.
And
was
it
basically eaten
survived?
alive, swallowed whole by a massive ball of plasma. The star stripped away and evaporated all the gas, but something weird happened. Most planets would be completely destroyed immediately,
Right.
but this one survived. Nowadays, only its burnt and rocky core remains.
You know what must have happened? It must have turned Super Saiyan. It recovered right before being defeated, and now it got a power up, because only a Zenkai boost can explain that. Bro got swallowed by a star and then came out and was alive to tell the tale. That's hard.
And to make you understand how badly the star scorched the planet, even after millions of years, its temperature is still around 12,000 degrees Fahrenheit. If you were to teleport to the surface,
Holy.
you would likely vaporize into a cloud of atoms faster than your brain could process that you had
I'm
arrived.
sure I
the
would.
planet is now smaller than Earth and orbits its star incredibly fast, completing a full year in less than 6 hours. LTT
Holy. All I know is, if I'm that planet, bro, I'm saving up my strength for a get back. I'm trying to find every piece of debris that's flying near me. I'm collecting it to be on my surface, bro, and then I'm going straight at the sun again.
9779b.
That looks like a ball of
You
silver.
are probably used to thinking of clouds as being white, vaporous, and fluffy, but the clouds on this planet are made of
Iron?
metal and glass. This
Like, that sounds so hard, because what do you mean metal and glass is just flying? Naturally. Imagine just clouds of gold.
planet is officially named Quankoa, also known as the Mirror Planet. That's because it's actually the most reflective planet ever discovered. Due to those clouds, it acts like a massive mirror in space.
Makes sense.
Bouncing back.
I know they were struggling to find this planet. I know this planet, when they first saw it, was throwing them off. Like, well, why am I seeing everything but what's going on right here? What? I know this threw them off.
73% of all the light that hits it. It's also the reason why telescopes struggle to detect specific signals from deep within the planet, as its metal-dense atmosphere acts like a metallic blanket. It's roughly the size of Neptune, but it is nothing like the cold blue giants in our own solar system. Quankoa is what scientists call an ultra-hot Neptune because it sits dangerously close to its
And
star.
it's absorbing
In fact,
all of it with the metals?
so close that it finishes a full orbit in less than 24 hours, and the star is basically cooking the planet alive. The temperatures on the side facing the star soar to over 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit. Matter of fact,
24
this planet
hours?
should not have existed in the first place. It lies in what astronomers call the Neptunian Desert, a region close to a star where planets of this size usually cannot survive because
They have the Neptune that's far away from the sun, then the Neptunian desert, which is close to the sun. Shout out Neptune, I guess.
intense radiation strips away their atmosphere. However, since Quankoa's atmosphere is this heavy with metals, it does not puff out effectively. Fomalhaut B. Dagon.
That don't look like a star. That looks like an explosion, bro.
Imagine discovering a new planet, taking a picture of it, and naming it, only to watch it slowly fade away until it completely vanishes into the darkness. This is the story of Fomalhaut B, also known as Dagon, a planet just 25
No.
light years away.
That's right
making
around
it
the corner.
closest one featured in this video. When astronomers using the Hubble Space Telescope announced its discovery in 2008, it was a historic moment because it was one of the very first planets to be seen directly in a photograph. Usually, planets are found indirectly by looking at how a star wobbles or dims, but this one was caught on camera as a tiny dot of light moving through a ring of debris. However, as scientists continued to watch it over the years, the planet started doing things that made no sense.
It
was
died.
not glowing with heat like a massive
Yeah,
planet should,
it died.
and instead of staying on a stable path, it appeared to be drifting away from its star. By 2014, the dot had faded so much that it was gone. A study
No.
published in 2020 finally solved the mystery. Fomalhaut B was never a planet at all. It was actually a massive,
dust.
expanding cloud of fine dust.
They were a hip hip harangue over dust. Oh, brother. I mean, man, that's pretty much what a gas planet is anyway. It's just a whole bunch of dust comes together, and then it's just gas now. It's just a ball of gas. But that's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. I would be so pissed if that was my discovery and my only discovery, and it just happened to be a ball of dust. Maybe scientists are happy about that though, because it is like a new discovery. They probably never thought about it just being a ball of dust being able to deceive as a planet. You know what? Maybe that was a good discovery.
By a cosmic crash. Two giant icy asteroids, each about 120 miles wide, had likely smashed into each other at incredibly high speeds just before the first photos were taken. The bright spot astronomers saw was
He says just before the first photos were taken. By just before, he means like 10,000 years ago. That's what he means.
the debris from this explosion spreading out into space. Kelt 9b. 670 light years away from us, there's a
That's
gas
not around
giant
the
that is
corner.
3 times heavier than Jupiter, and it's so hot that even molecules like water and carbon dioxide get torn apart, and heavy metals like iron and titanium turn into gas. This planet orbits a massive burning blue star, and it's actually locked in a very tight orbit.
A blue
so much
star
so that its
sounds
year is
cool.
less than 1.5
cool.
days. Because it is so close, one side of the planet is permanently facing the star, constantly being blasted by heat and light. The
Like
temperature on this
blue
day
heat,
side
bro?
reaches over 7,700 degrees Fahrenheit. Metals on this planet can continuously cycle between solid and gaseous states in an endless loop. On the day side, they evaporate. Winds then carry the gases to the slightly cooler
they
night
form
side, where
back?
they might briefly condense
That's
again before being
hilarious.
transported back to the day side, and so on. The radiation is so powerful that the planet is puffing up like a balloon, making it very large. However, the star is stripping away about 10 million tons of the planet's material every single second. This creates a
does that
massive
mean,
tail
though?
of gas trailing behind the planet.
Okay, he's pulling out like the density of the planet. So he's fattening the planet up while sucking it dry. That's a contradiction.
Making it look like a gigantic comet. Also, its fate is grim. Scientists predict that in less than 1 billion years,
A billion years. We're talking about a bee right now. We're a billion years. Oh no! A billion!
Its star will expand into a red giant, and Kelt 9b will be eaten alive by the very sun that is currently incinerating it.
No.
PSOJ 318.5-22.
Why is he frowning?
This is what's called a rogue planet, and the sun never rises here. That's because there's actually no sun at all. PSOJ 318.5-22
so he's just in the middle
places in space.
He's just
Unlike
in the middle of nowhere.
Circles the sun, or Jupiter, which circles its own star, this massive object does not orbit anything. It was likely kicked out of its home system shortly after it formed, or perhaps it formed all by itself, leaving it to float forever.
Hopefully
in the
it formed by
void
itself.
between stars. You might think that a planet without a star would be a frozen ball of ice.
I have
but
no
this
clue what it
world
would be.
is actually a burning furnace. It is
How?
roughly the size of Jupiter, but it is much heavier.
Why is
packing
everything
8 times
Jupiter?
as much mass into the same space? Because it is very young and
Maybe it's trying to become a star. It has bigger ambitions than being a planet following a star. No. He's going on his own journey to become a star itself. He doesn't want to fall in the line like everybody else is. They tried to tell him he couldn't. He's gonna prove him that he can. Hey, you go, Piso.
cosmic terms, only about 23 million years old. It still glows with the intense heat from its creation. Telescopes have watched the planet change brightness, which tells scientists that it is covered in thick, stormy clouds that rotate around the planet every few hours. However, these are not clouds made of water vapor. They are made of hot dust and molten metal. Recent studies using the James Webb Space Telescope suggest that the highest clouds are made of tiny grains of quartz or sand. Deeper down, there are heavy clouds made of liquid iron. If you want to discuss this video,
clouds of iron, bro. That's so spooky. Anyways, fantastic video. The Paint Explainer. The most disturbing events in space.
The 2012 near miss. In July 2012, something happened in space that most people on Earth never heard about. And the scary part is that we were just 9 days away from being in a completely different world today. The sun had an incredibly violent outburst. It was a massive cloud of charged particles shot out from its surface at incredible speed. We call this a coronal mass ejection.
I thought it was called like a solar flare.
On July 23rd of that year was not a normal one. Scientists later measured it and found it was one of the most powerful ever recorded, possibly stronger than anything we had seen in over 150 years. Now here is where things get uncomfortable. The cloud missed Earth, but only because our planet had moved past that exact spot in its orbit about 9 days earlier. These 9 days are the only reason life as we know it continued without interruption. What would have happened if it had hit? Scientists who studied the event estimated it could have fried satellites, collapsed power grids across entire continents, and knocked out GPS and internet systems worldwide.
How long?
The recovery time would have likely been years, if not longer.
Years?
Cosmos,
bro. And then think about it. If that would have happened, bro, there's no TikTok, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. We were saved. We were saved, bro. We almost had no TikTok. Goodness gracious.
954. On January 24th, 1978, people in northwestern Canada heard a low rumble moving across the sky. Some saw a streak of light, and a few were feeling uneasy without knowing why. They had no idea what was passing over them, but we do now, and it's much scarier than what they could have imagined.
Is that a meteorite? I mean, not a meteorite, meteor shower.
Launched by the Soviet Union in September of 1977. It needed a lot of power, and the solution was a small nuclear reactor on board, fueled by enriched uranium. For a while, everything worked as planned.
No, that sounds good.
The Soviets lost control of it. By the
time
it
became
clear the satellite was going to fall, there was no way to stop it.
Right.
It re-entered the atmosphere and started breaking down, scattering.
We made our own custom meteorite, bro. Like, we weren't getting no action. Like, nature didn't want to harm us. You know what I'm saying? Like, natural nature wanted to leave us alone. So we said, hey, let's cause more of our own problems. Like, bro, we're so like that. No other species on Earth could say that, bro. No other species could be like, man, life is going so good, let's make it worse. We're so different, man.
Debris across a massive stretch of Canadian wilderness, covering an area of roughly 124,000 square kilometers. That is an area larger than many countries. A joint American and Canadian operation called Operation Morning Light was launched to find and recover the wreckage. They eventually found around 12 large pieces of debris. Some of those pieces were so radioactive that being near them for too long would have been dangerous to a person's
my
health.
gosh. Imagine the
pieces represented
animals.
only about 1% of the total total satellite. The other 99% was either burned up in the atmosphere, sunk to the bottom of lakes, or was simply never found, somewhere out there in the wilderness. The Soviet Union paid Canada a settlement afterward.
How much?
The mutated
How much they pay? How much bread?
space fungi. In the late 1990s, the Russian Mir space station developed a problem that felt straight out of a sci-fi horror movie.
Mutated space fungi.
1986, and over the years it had become home to something unexpected. Cosmonauts and researchers eventually found fungal growth behind wall panels, on equipment, on rubber seals, on cables, and even on windows. The station, which was built from metal and glass and synthetic materials, was being slowly eaten from the inside.
That space fungi different, bro. That fungi snacking.
The incredible part was what the space environment had done to these organisms. Fungi on Earth are already remarkably tough. In space, exposed to high radiation, microgravity, and conditions nothing like what they evolved in, these organisms didn't die. They adapted. Studies found that some of the strains collected...
They just like humans, bro, because we just always adapting, bro.
...changed in ways that made them more resilient, harder to kill, and in some cases, more aggressive toward the materials they were growing on.
That's not that bad, though.
That showed resistance to the cleaning methods used to remove them. For the cosmonauts living inside the station, this raised...
No, like, I mean, like, bad, like, for Earth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're comparing it to, like, the near miss, like, the first thing we were shown. That's what I mean. Like, the people who were, like, on the space station, like, yes, it's terrible for them, but that's not what I'm for. Huh?
Real health concerns, while for scientists thinking about long-duration space missions in the future, it raised a different one. If microorganisms can change this quickly in space, what else might change given enough time and enough distance from Earth?
Like if you nut it in space, does that semen have a micro mutation that allows it to fully develop a real human body? Or we create our own aliens by nutting in space? Hold on. I'm on to something, dog. I'm on to something. Let's try it.
The Vela incident.
Who?
On September 22nd, 1979, an American satellite called Vela picked up something unusual over a remote stretch of ocean between South Africa and Antarctica. It was a double flash of light, extremely brief, extremely bright. And the reason that specific pattern mattered so much is that it had only ever been seen in one context before. It was the signature of a nuclear explosion.
Wait, we had a space station pick up a potential nuclear explosion.
Matter of fact, Vela satellites were built for exactly this purpose. During the Cold War, the United States needed a way to monitor whether other countries were secretly testing nuclear weapons. So these satellites were sent up specifically to watch for that kind of flash. By 1979, they had detected 41 confirmed nuclear tests. This was allegedly number 42, except nobody ever officially confirmed it. The location was one of the most isolated stretches of ocean on the planet, which would have made it a reasonable place to test something.
The ocean can make its own custom nukes. Or look. Poseidon is cooking something. Poseidon is cooking something, bro.
Without being seen. A government panel was put together and eventually concluded the signal was probably caused by something hitting the satellite combined with reflected sunlight.
Right, the reflection, the mirrors. Right, like Hercule in the Cell Saga, the mirrors. Like, no, bro. Nah, Poseidon's cooking and we not doing nothing to stop him.
However, other agencies ran their own analyses and reached the opposite conclusion. Underwater listening systems detected acoustic signals from that region around the same time, consistent with an explosion. Reports later emerged that sheep in parts of Australia...
Sorry, what is bad about to do about this?
Australia showed unusual thyroid irregularities in the weeks that followed, which can be associated with radiation exposure.
I'm telling y'all Poseidon doing something, bro. It's either Poseidon or the giant squids. It's one or the other. Hey, no, we need to pay attention to that area. What was that? That was like 50 years ago? I don't know, man. He might... We need to see if there's been more activities. He might be onto something.
The 1972 Great Daylight Fireball.
Everything's happened in the 70s.
Things that fall toward Earth from space burn up completely before they ever get close to the ground. But on August 10th, 1972, something very different happened. Witnesses across the western United States and Canada suddenly noticed a bright object moving fast across the daytime sky. It left a long glowing trail behind it and was visible for nearly 100 seconds. What they were seeing was a large space rock.
And want to take a picture?
Estimated to be somewhere between 3 and 14 meters across. Here is the scary part.
Talk to me.
It was what scientists call an Earth grazer. The rock came within about 58 kilometers of the surface, which
And
in
what that
space
mean?
terms is incredibly close.
Yeah.
And it skipped back out into space, never touching the surface.
But what happened
The
if it
atmosphere
did?
slowed it just enough, and its angle was just right, and it simply
Yo,
left.
Earth is really light. That yo, you cannot mess with the Big E, bro. Like the Big E really be stepping and stopping things from happening, dog. Nah, Earth is different, dog. I don't think we give it enough respect for what it is. Like the Earth has been able to survive so long because it's been ducking and diving while also making organisms on the surface. See, all the other planets in the ecosystem, they put all their energy into ducking and diving. They don't have no more energy left to make organisms. Not Earth. Earth is that cousin that you don't want to be compared to. Everyone's like, look at what Earth's doing. Jupiter's dad's like, why can't you be more like Earth? Pluto's dad like, but why can't you at least be like Earth's moon? Like, oh my goodness, bro. Big E, bro. Big E, man.
Scientists calculated that if it had come in at a slightly steeper angle, it would have made contact. An
What would have
impact of that
happened?
size would have released energy comparable to a nuclear explosion, and the area below its path was not empty. People were there. Towns were there. And on that particular afternoon, nobody had any warning at all. The supernova of 1054. On the morning
1050.
of July 4th, 1054, people in
They have
different parts
cameras?
of the world looked up and saw something really weird. Two suns. For anyone alive at that moment with no scientific framework to explain
They
it,
gotta
it
say
was
it's
even
God.
weirder.
Yeah,
Chinese
it was
astronomers
God.
and Arab scholars recorded it carefully. In the American Southwest, indigenous communities appear to have marked the event in rock carvings that still exist today, showing a crescent moon next to a radiating point of light, which matches the exact position of the object on that morning. European records, interestingly, are almost entirely silent on it, and historians are still not entirely sure why.
'Cause they
What people
had
were
nothing to
actually
say.
seeing was something pretty unique. A massive star roughly 6,500 light years away had reached
Oh, that's
the end
right
of
around the
its life and
corner.
collapsed, triggering an explosion so powerful that the light from it crossed that enormous distance and still arrived here bright enough to cast shadows at night. It
That's
stayed
lit.
visible to the naked eye in
That's not-
darkness
that's not
for nearly
disturbing,
2
though.
years. During the day, for about 3 weeks, it
2
competed with the sun.
years?
What was left behind after the explosion is still visible today through telescopes. It is a vast, tangled cloud of expanding
It's
gas.
still visible 1,000 years later. That's so hard, bro. Listen, the Big E is the only planet in the solar system that can allow you to make telescopes too, bro. Trust. Don't fact check that though. Don't fact check it.
Dust called the Crab Nebula, and at its center spins a dense, collapsed object, rotating about 30 times every single second.
What the world?
Apollo eyeball flashes. Imagine closing your eyes in a dark room and suddenly seeing flashes of light that are coming out of nowhere. Not from a screen, not from a lamp, not from anything around you. Now imagine that happening while you are floating in space, with no explanation for what you are seeing.
No
That is
clue what you're referring
exactly
to.
what Apollo astronauts started reporting. Early mission crews mentioned it quickly, but by the time of Apollo 14 and 15, it was clear this was happening consistently. Astronauts described seeing streaks, spots, and brief flashes.
Got that-
sometimes
that
like a
space
distant star
atmosphere
blinking,
making them go
sometimes like a
crazy.
quick line cutting across their vision.
Oh,
It happened
space
with
is
their
cutting
eyes
out their
open and
vision.
with their eyes closed. NASA took it seriously enough to design a specific experiment for later missions to study it. What they found was both fascinating and unsettling. The flashes were being caused by cosmic rays, high-energy particles that travel through space at incredible speeds. On Earth, we are largely protected from these particles by our
Big
magnetic
E,
field and
Big E,
atmosphere. But in
Big
deep
E.
space, that protection disappears almost entirely.
So you just
These
start seeing
particles were
BS?
passing straight through the walls of the spacecraft, straight through the astronauts' skulls, and directly through their eyes and brains.
That's
When a
so
particle
crazy to
cuts through
think
the
of.
retina, the eye registers it as light,
Yo.
even though no light is.
How different would humans be if like we were able to live in space, right? What organism could live in space? Like what does that organism look like? Like what is that besides mold? I mean mold is boring. But like what like living organism living in space? What is that? Man, I guess I have to do some testing, bro. Oh my gosh. I get tired of running test after test, bro. Like I'll figure it out, bro.
Is actually there. The brain gets a signal it does not know how to interpret, and so it shows you a flash. Every time they saw a flash, it was a literal piece of deep space shrapnel passing through their brains. Phobos 2's
That's hot.
disappearance. In 1988, the Soviet Union launched 2 spacecraft toward Mars. The first one was lost a few months after launch due to a simple command error sent from the ground. It was embarrassing, but explainable. What happened to the second one was harder to explain, and in the decades since, it has never been fully resolved. Phobos 2 reached Mars in January 1989 and spent several weeks in orbit, sending back data and images as planned. Everything was
Phobo
working,
had
and
performance
scientists on the ground
anxiety.
were close to the finish line. Then, on March 27, 1989, contact stopped. The last telemetry received showed the spacecraft had begun rotating unexpectedly.
Well, there you go.
Nothing. Soviet engineers worked to
It probably just
communication,
broke
but
down
could not.
somewhere.
The official explanation settled on a malfunction in the onboard computer system, which caused the spacecraft to lose its orientation and break contact.
Rip
However,
Buzzo.
there's an extra element that caused theories online to go wild. Among the final images transmitted before contact was lost, there was one that showed what appeared to be a large, elongated shadow falling across the surface of Mars. Researchers who worked on the mission made public statements at the time describing the image as anomalous and unexpected. Later analysis suggested
what do they think it is?
Phobos itself casting a shadow, or possibly an artifact produced during image processing.
Okay.
Both of those explanations are plausible, but neither has been universally accepted by the public. The spacecraft is still out there somewhere.
What is that? What is it? What is that? What?
Cygni.
What is? Oh, yo, that sounds like hell is coming. V404 Cygni? But what type of demon are you trying to spawn?
For 26 years, the black hole V404 Cygni was quiet. Astronomers knew it was about 7,800 light years away.
That's right around the
orbiting a
corner.
companion star. It had caused a significant outburst back in 1989, and then it had settled down. And for more than 2 decades, there was nothing particularly alarming about it. Then, in June 2015, it suddenly woke up when NASA's Swift satellite detected a sudden surge of X-rays coming from its direction on June 15, 2015.
What do you mean it woke up?
Observatories around the world began pointing their instruments at it within hours. What followed over the next few weeks was one of the most dramatic black hole outbursts ever recorded. The black hole had begun pulling
swallowing the
material from its
sun
companion star,
or a star or
consuming it
whatever.
at a violent,
Yeah.
chaotic rate. It flared repeatedly,
W
sometimes multiple times within a single hour, and the brightness of those flares was extraordinary, briefly overwhelming some of the instruments trying to measure it. It became one of the brightest objects in the X-ray sky, which for something nearly 8,000 light years away is a remarkable thing to say. However, what genuinely surprised researchers
Is it
was the
shooting out a
behavior of
ray?
Jets. Black holes in this kind of feeding state
what is-
often shoot out
Oh,
narrow
no, it's
beams of
eating.
material
Oh, no, it
at
is
close to the
shooting.
speed of light. V404 Cygni was doing this, but its jets were not pointing in a fixed direction. They were
Okay, it was
swinging
just-
around, changing orientation within minutes to hours,
Okay.
wobbling in a way that had not been clearly observed before. Later analysis suggested this was caused by the black hole's spin physically warping the space around it. It was a direct observation of a black hole.
Like, bro,
bending
the
the
black hole is warping space. So it makes you think, like, if the black hole can warp space, why can't we? Let me write that down. I'm going to do something about that, too. That sounds like a little difficult of a task. I'm going to give it 15 years. I'm going to get some space warping in 15 years. Okay. I'm going to put that on my notepad to remember that.
of space-time in real time. The 1178 lunar apocalypse. On the evening of June 18th, 1178,
Are we
5
sure it wasn't the
monks in
19th?
Canterbury, England, were looking up at a crescent moon. What they reported
Okay.
seeing next was so strange that people argued about it for centuries. And when scientists finally took it seriously, the explanation they came up with was somehow even stranger than the original story. The monks
to me.
described the upper tip of the moon suddenly splitting apart. They said fire burst out of it.
What
along
the
with
heck?
They described as hot coals and sparks. The moon itself appeared to rise.
How did they have
almost
that
like
detail of
Their
a
account
view?
was written down by a chronicler, and
Okay. No way y'all saw that much detail. Y'all are lying. Y'all did not see that much detail of the moon with your naked eye. Like, if you said you had a telescope, maybe, but you're telling me they're just staring at it and they're seeing the moon shiver? Like, come on.
it sat in historical records for hundreds of years. Then, in 1976, a geologist went back to that description and looked through a different lens. He matched the timing and location the monks described with a specific crater on the moon called Giordano Bruno. It sits near the edge of the moon, exactly where the monks were looking, and compared to other craters, it looked remarkably fresh, with long, bright streaks spreading out from it like cracks in glass.
Okay, so the
Bartok
moon got
proposed that
smashed
those
on.
5 men had watched a meteor slam into the moon in real time.
They
If he was
watched the
right, it would
moon
be the
get smashed in real time. Oh, that's so hard.
only witnessed lunar impact in recorded
That'd be
human
so
history.
hard.
However, other scientists
Or they
pushed
made it
back.
up.
A collision powerful enough to carve that crater would have thrown an enormous amount of debris into space, and a large portion of it would have rained down on Earth for years afterward. We have no historical records of any unusual meteor activity during that period, and also
'cause the moon
newer
ate it.
analyses indicate Giordano Bruno may may be millions of years old, not medieval.
Oh my
so either
gosh.
the monks saw something else entirely, or the
I think they made it up, to be honest.
books, or we are missing a piece of the story.
I feel like they made it up.
GRB 066.
Let's ask them.
On June 14, 2006, a NASA satellite called SWIFT detected a gamma ray burst. Gamma ray bursts are the most powerful explosions known to exist in the universe. Flashes of energy so extreme that in a matter of seconds, they can release more energy than the sun will produce across its entire 10 billion year life. They are rare, and by...
Sorry, you're telling me my son his whole life can never produce a gamma? Like, yo. You know why? Because my sun is a gentle sun. It cares about every planet in its atmosphere. That's why. It's not just burning away and sucking the soul of everything in the atmosphere. Okay? Okay, don't diss my son like that. He's really like that. It's not always about who's the strongest or fastest. It's about who does the best with that ability and power. And our son's doing great. Prick.
2006 scientists believed they understood them reasonably well. There were two types: short ones, lasting under 2 seconds, and long ones, lasting more than 2 seconds, caused by the
longest lasting over 2 seconds. We all lasted long then! Yes! Continue.
Stars. GRB 0606114 lasted about 102 seconds, which placed it firmly in the long category. Except it then did something that long gamma ray bursts are not supposed to do. It didn't produce a supernova explosion. When researchers pointed telescopes at its location in the weeks that followed, expecting to find the glowing remnants of a stellar explosion, there was nothing. The burst had come from a galaxy about 1.6 billion light years away, and whatever had caused it left no trace that matched anything in the existing framework. Proposals emerged, including the possibility of a star collapsing directly into a black hole without a visible explosion, but
what does that mean?
None were confirmed. The ISS sabotage. There are many ways things can go wrong in space. However, what happened to the ISS in 2018 was not expected at all.
How many of y'all got put in ISS?
On the International Space Station noticed the air pressure on board was dropping slowly, a small leak. They traced it to the Russian Soyuz MS-09 capsule, which was docked to the station at the time. What they found was shocking, a 2 millimeters hole. They patched it temporarily with sealant while investigators tried to figure out what had caused it. The first
Someone put a hole in it?
Meteorite had punched through, which does happen, but when engineers looked more closely at
it was too perfect.
That explanation did not hold up.
It was too perfect.
Edges were too clean and too smooth. The kind of edges left by not by an impact.
Someone was trying to get them killed.
The hole consistent with more than one attempt, as if whoever made it had needed a few tries to get through. The Russian space agency Roscosmos
it's like a game of Among Us,
but did not publicly release a definitive explanation proving sabotage. So the hole was either made on purpose or it was a manufacturing error.
Manufacturing error, like, okay, bro.
The Kessler syndrome. This one is something that has been building quietly for decades, and the reason scientists find it so concerning is that by the time most people become aware of it, it may already be too late to stop. In 1978, a NASA scientist named Donald Kessler described a scenario that has since taken his name. The idea is straightforward. As more and more objects are placed in orbit around Earth, the chances of collisions between them increase. When two objects collide at orbital speeds, they do not simply bounce off each other. They just explode into thousands of pieces. Each of those pieces then becomes its own projectile capable of destroying
I'm seeing the problem. I'm seeing the problem.
Thousands more fragments, which
I'm seeing the problem.
A chain reaction. Self-sustaining.
We're going to create our own rings like Saturn or Neptune, whichever ones have the rings, bro.
The problem is already visible. There are currently hundreds of thousands of pieces of debris ranging from old rocket parts down to fragments smaller than a fingernail.
I'm just gonna send a fishing net up there, bro. We can clean that up by 2032. We good.
All traveling at roughly 28,000 kilometers per hour. At that speed, even a small fleck of paint can punch through a spacecraft wall. Two specific events added to this problem. In 2007, China destroyed one of its own satellites with a missile during a weapons test. That single event created thousands of new debris pieces that are still up there today. Then,
thanks, China.
2 satellites collided accidentally over Siberia and added thousands more. The International Space Station performs evasive maneuvers multiple times per year to avoid debris. What Kessler described was a point of no return, a density threshold where the cascade becomes unstoppable and certain orbital paths around Earth become permanently unusable, potentially for centuries. Every satellite that enables GPS, weather forecasting, and global communications sits in the...
No, not the Wi-Fi. Bro, no Wi-Fi, no TikTok, no! Please, no!
Those same paths.
No. He's gonna tell me it's all over for TikTok, bro. How will we live? How will we survive? Because you have to think, bro, we were barely living without TikTok, bro. So like, I mean, we're barely living with TikTok. So imagine without, dog. Like, we're cooked without it, dog, man. Like, amazing video, the pain explainer, bro. You're explaining it so good. The most terrifying things in our universe besides your mother when she wakes up with no makeup on. Let's go.
Let's start with the scary and slowly work our way towards the most terrifying ones on the list. Number 10, space junk. As it turns out, our planet is not the only thing we treat like a giant trash can.
Like, I don't really, oh, you meant like trash. I thought you meant like space genitals.
Since space is slowly becoming a giant landfill as well. There are currently millions of pieces of man-made junk in Earth's orbit, with over 30,000 of them being over 10 centimeters long, or around 4 inches.
Oh,
now,
that's
the
huge.
reason why this is so scary is
10 centimeter 4. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I can see how that's, wow. That's detrimental. I wonder if that's where all the balloons are. All my balloons that I let go of when I was yay high, and I would cry watching them fly into the sky, asking my mom, can you get it for me? She just looking at me like, yeah, I'm not jumping up there. What are you?
that the number of junk is only growing. But this really shouldn't worry you, since I'm sure we'll eventually get around to cleaning it. Which usually only happens when it becomes a big enough problem that our government is forced to do something about it. You see,
the only time like that happens is when the problem is already too big enough to actually have cleaning help anything. So it's like, there's no point in cleaning. Let's just. Hey, it's in space, you know what I'm saying? It'll go somewhere else eventually, right?
The growing amounts of space junk are becoming a major problem for space exploration and travel.
I mean, that's not that big of a deal.
NASA has already had a course correct 32 times since 1999 to avoid satellites and space debris.
I take detours every other week to get somewhere, bro. Like, there's always detours. I'm not concerned about some 32 times, you know what I'm saying, they get a detour.
This is an issue that you will never have to worry about, since you never leave the house, let alone plan on traveling to space. But as it turns out, the space debris might just come to you.
What?
There have been many reports of large pieces of metal, spaceships, and satellites landing on people's property and homes.
Who pays me if that happens, though? My insurance covers that, though, right? If it don't, I'm stealing straight out of Elon's wallet.
The majority of the pieces go unreported, since they most likely land in the ocean, where they blend in with the rest of the trash. Number 9, cosmic voids. As we leave Earth's orbit and begin to look further out into the universe, we quickly begin to discover all sorts of terrifying things.
Oh, it's my hamster.
Before we get to those, I want to focus on nothing. I literally mean nothing. You see, there are vast spaces in the universe that don't contain anything at all. No planets, no stars, no moons, no McDonald's, no asteroids.
Soulless.
Nothing.
Soulless, like a JoJo fan.
Are known as cosmic voids, and in some cases they can be hundreds of millions of light years in diameter. This would create a long and lonely space trip for anything that decides to journey across them. Unless, of course, you were blessed with being an introvert.
That's not really scary to me. I mean, telling me like somewhere in the universe there's just nothing, I mean, I'd assume so. You feel what I mean? Like, it's not that big of a deal. You know, let's just put something there. Let's get one of these billionaires. They'll probably find a way to put a Walmart up there.
Into this weakness. Now, I know these large numbers are very hard to grasp, so let me just show you what this all looks like.
Okay,
here's an illustration of the Virgo supercluster, which contains around 100,000 galaxies, including our home, the Milky Way. Now, let's zoom out and take a look at the
100,000 galaxies, but there's not more of us, bro. Like, I want to know what me in this Oscar supercluster looks like. And then what does Waka look like in the Hercules supercluster? Am I Mr. Beast in this Pisces supercluster? You know, there's me in everywhere. What if I'm like a wizard in the Phoenix supercluster, bro? What if they get isekai in their Ursa supercluster? What if every time we live and die, we go to a different supercluster? Yo, like, Thanos might really be in the Sexton supercluster, bro. Like, we don't know.
Here, these are cosmic voids. This particular one here is called Boötes Void, and is one of the largest voids in the known universe, spanning around 330 million light years wide.
I'm definitely gonna put a Walmart there after I get reincarnated into this booty supercluster, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna put a thick Walmart besides a Hooters. I'm bringing it back for the booty supercluster. It only fits. It only makes sense.
For perspective, the entire Milky Way galaxy, which is home to at least 100 billion planets, is 100,000 light years wide. Number 8, dead galaxies. Dead galaxies are galaxies that have run out of cold hydrogen gas.
Let's give a moment of silence to all the dead galaxies right there, man. Oh, bro, that means you can't reincarnate in that galaxy. Oh, shucks, man. Dag nabbit. Ugh. R.I.P., man. R.I.P.
Which is necessary to fuel stars and create new ones. These dead galaxies will be the first to become completely dark and lifeless, leaving behind a cold and lonely cemetery. But for now, these galaxies appear red as they burn through their last remaining energy
they're
that
on
they will
Eve.
ever have. Now let's get to the terrifying part. All galaxies, including our own, will eventually run out of energy, and
Not as long as I'm here to stop it. As long as you can find a battery charger, you can find a charger at Walmart. We're not running out of energy anytime soon, guys. Don't even worry about it.
it's hypothesized that the entire universe eventually will as well. A stage that is referred to as the Dark Era, and it's speculated to be the final state of the universe, leaving behind
Then
a
what?
cold and dark universe where light and energy cease to exist.
Boo, boo. If that's how my show ended, I'm giving it a thumbs down, okay? They're gonna tell me, oh, this is the end of season 236 trillion of Earth, and it's just darkness? Boo!
7. Planets. NASA estimates that there are at least 100 billion planets in the Milky Way galaxy alone, and over 6 sextillion planets in
Sex.
the observable universe. That's 21 zeros, by the way.
Now, who
Not that it
counted
even
all
matters,
that?
since
No,
none
no,
of us-
seriously, who sat down and counted all that though? Like, you having supercomputers count, so the computers were counting for you. They know the difference between a planet, a moon, and a star when they all look the dang same from a certain distance away. Like, no, I don't believe you, bro. Sextillion. Who made that up too? Was that computer too? Who sat down and counted a sextillion? Probably a reptilian. I don't trust these reptiles.
could even come close to comprehending that. So instead, people try to visualize this by saying that there are more planets in the known universe than grains of sand on Earth. And for those of you that have never been to the beach, take it from someone who has. We still
There's a
can't
lot of
comprehend this
sand.
number either. Now, we don't have to look far to find some truly terrifying planets, since we have a few of them here in our own solar system. But let's just take a look at the scariest one, Jupiter. This planet is an absolute nightmare, and is scary enough to just look at. Jupiter's a giant gas planet that is 1,300 times larger than Earth and is covered in violent storms, as I'm sure you
That's not
already
that bad.
know. But really quickly, here are just a few of the ways Jupiter would absolutely mop the floor with you. Radiation exposure, dead. Atmospheric pressure, dead. 400
I've never.
plus
First off, I've never choked under any form of pressure, so don't piss me off. How fast?
400 plus mile per hour wind.
Okay, I can blow at the winds back and then they can just collide. Like, what are we talking about? 400 miles per hour? I skip faster than that.
Dead. Struck by lightning, dead.
Struck by light. You can get struck by lightning here. I'll just redirect the lightning like a Missoula. I'm not really concerned about that.
You overheat, dead. You
Overheat?
freeze,
What?
dead. You
Put on a coat, then take your coat off.
decide to breathe, dead. But if Jupiter's not scary
Don't
enough,
breathe,
our
hold
galaxy
your
has
breath.
many other horrific planets to
I
choose
don't understand.
from. Like planets that constantly rain molten iron or molten glass.
Oh, we should
Planet-
go farming there. Farming? I meant mining. Is that a diamond planet?
Planets that are entirely covered in ice. Planets that are entirely covered in lava. Planets that are entirely covered in water. Planets that are just completely dark. Planets with giant hurricanes the size of Earth. Nope, that's just Jupiter again. I told you that.
They have the hurricane the size of us? That's hilarious, bro. And they still can't mess with us. That's not even a hurricane. That's just Jupiter upset that Jupiter can't produce life like Earth can. That's Jupiter just hating. And see, you know, sometimes hate can take you far. Sometimes when you hate, you can be like Kendrick Lamar. Or you're like Jupiter. And you know what Jupiter is? A place that anyone goes to get stupider. The third graders know it. It's mad. It's jealous. I never rock with Jupiter ever again, bro.
That place sucks. Number 6, aliens. Ever since we were young, Hollywood has conditioned us to be scared of aliens. So it's no surprise
Ooh.
that this one would end up
Not
on
I.
the list.
I'm
Movies
one with
like
aliens.
Aliens, Signs, Predator, Cloverfield, The Thing, and of course The GOAT,
Thing?
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
The thing? That's fantastic. You see what I did there? Get it? Cause you see what I Cause the joke was like the thing from the Fantastic Four. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the yeah.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space, all made aliens incredibly violent and terrifying. And when Hollywood finally attempted to create a friendly and relatable alien, all they got right was his body type. And it definitely worked. Scientists say that it's only a matter of time until we find the existence of aliens. But here's the thing, right? An alien or an extraterrestrial being is simply just something that is living that didn't originate on Earth. So this could be something as small as bacteria, but if we're lucky, it could be a fish or mammal-like creature. But of course,
why would
this
that
could be
make us
something
lucky?
infinitely more terrifying.
Yo,
And that's what
we
makes
could
this
see demons, bro. Wait, no, that shouldn't be something to be excited for. I didn't mean demons as in actual demons. I was saying demons like that's how their body structure is. Like we might find a human with horns. Imagine you find a human with horns, and then when you're giving back shots, you can use the horns. Maybe we shouldn't search for aliens.
This one's so scary. We really don't know what's out there. Now, thankfully, we all know that first impressions are everything. So I'm hopeful that
The thing is, that's fantastic, wasn't it? But the thing is, it doesn't matter if aliens are out there, because look at it like this. When we find aliens, they're gonna be so far away due to the telescopes that it won't matter that we found them. You know what I mean? It's like we're able to see these planets from light years away. We're looking light years away. We haven't found no aliens. By the time we find them, they're gonna be light years away. We will never see them. And then we probably might not even come in contact with an alien before the universe is over. Not the universe, but the galaxy is over. Before the sun dies out, I should say. So that's not the galaxy, that's our solar system. Because they're gonna be so far away. And we're not gonna be able to build anything that moves at the speed of light years unless we get Mr. Light Gear. But yeah, we're literally never gonna see aliens. Like if we haven't seen aliens already and the government is just hiding it, if we haven't seen them, we're never gonna see them. Like ever be in contact, I should say.
aliens will just take a quick look at Earth's orbit and decide not to visit, since we're obviously very dirty. Number 5, gamma ray bursts.
Gamma ray bursts? What?
Gamma ray bursts.
Gamma ray bursts. Okay. I was like, what is gamma doing?
Gamma ray bursts are the most powerful explosions in the known universe, releasing more energy in a second than the sun would in a billion years. This can occur
That's just BS. See, and that's what I say, like, that's what people say, like, sometimes it doesn't matter how hard you work, there's always gonna be someone more talented than you. Like, that is the prime example, because if someone working for a billion years doesn't compare to one other farts, like another star's fart, like, that's not even fair, bro. That would piss me off. I bet you the sun gets bullied by all the nearby stars, like, they talking to each other in a frequency we can't even hear, and they, like, making fun of the sun because how small he is. Like, bro, poor sun, I know he insecure.
different ways. Either when a star goes supernova, when two neutron stars collide and form a black hole, or when a black hole swallows a neutron star. These massive bursts of energy are 1,000,000 trillion times brighter than the sun and could last anywhere from 10 milliseconds to several hours.
How do we know
Here's
that?
what makes them so scary. The light produced can't be seen by the naked eye. So if Earth
What does
were to
that
be hit by one of these
mean?
powerful gamma ray bursts, we would never see it coming. And
What?
depending-
Wait, so we can't see it. It can happen in milliseconds. How do we know it exists?
on how close the source of the gamma ray
What
burst
scientists
is,
found it?
would determine if life on Earth would survive. At a distance of 6,000 light years, it would cause mass extinction due to the deadly amounts of radiation.
That
But
has
if the
something to do
gamma
with
ray
it.
burst occurred further away but still managed to get a direct hit on us, it could still be catastrophic, since it would heavily
that's what
damage
happened
all
to
of our
the
satellites
aliens.
and technology, shutting down the Wi-Fi.
No.
Now, thankfully, Earth is not
Get Captain America to get his shield. He could probably block it.
really in danger of such an event, since our sun is far too small to produce this type of explosion. Instead, our sun will just grow so large that it slowly swallows the entire
I told
planet.
you it's getting
Number 4,
bullied, bro. I
colliding-
told you the sun's getting bullied. Even we're bullying how small the sun is, bro. We need to get the sun some friends. Who trying to go on a trip with me? We can go get the sun some friends. Anybody want to jump with Anybody else want to come go on a trip? You know what I'm saying? With the little Einsteins, find the sun some friends. So I'm starting to feel bad, bro.
colliding galaxies. With billions of galaxies
No.
traveling through the universe, some are bound to bump into one another. As a matter of fact, our galaxy will be one of them. The Milky Way is scheduled to crash into our neighboring galaxy, the Andromeda Galaxy. But that
Okay.
collision won't be for another 4 to 5 billion years.
Oh, so
Hopefully
that's
long
like
after
tomorrow.
humans have left Earth and populated other planets. But let's talk about what
Okay, populating other planets won't help the fact that if the galaxies collide, we would have to populate another galaxy, not planet. When you really sit down and think about it, do y'all really think Earth has enough material for us to even go solar system to solar system. Like all we have right now to get material from is Earth. Like we don't actually, we might not even have the facilities on this planet to go anywhere outside the solar system and like take a person outside the solar system or take a robot outside the solar system. I guarantee you, bro, I'm telling you, in like 136 years, we're gonna send our final spaceship type of thing to go scout the universe, and we're not gonna have no more metal left on Earth. We're not gonna have no more anything left on Earth. It's gonna be our final thing to try to save human population and try to move us somewhere else. It's gonna happen in around, what did I say, 186 years, and it's gonna get smacked out the air from the sun because the sun is getting tired of being bullied. The sun gonna come out of nowhere, in between the legs, for some reason, and then just smack it, LeBron James. And then that's the end of human civilization.
What makes colliding galaxies
I can see the future. I used a magnifying glass.
so scary? As the two galaxies begin to get close to one another, their gravitational pull will bring them together. Now, surprisingly, planets crashing
like
into
true
one another
love.
would be extremely rare, since galaxies are mostly empty space. But what would
That's what I
happen is planets would be
okay.
rearranged and shuffled around, knocking them away from their current solar systems and creating new ones. So any planet with life on it might be stuck with a new neighbor. Here are a few galaxies that are currently merging as we speak.
ARP 220, ZW, like who made these names?
Number 3, supernovas. Supernovas are the largest explosions that humans have ever seen. They can outshine their entire
Humans, dog, I have not seen it. Who is humans? Have y'all seen one? Hello, am I tweaking? When did we see it? Because I never seen it. Speaking of supernovas, the only supernova I know is when Frieza made a supernova with his finger. Like that's what his name of his attack was.
galaxy for a few days or even months. It can be seen across the universe.
That's called an attention
A supernova
holder.
can occur a couple of different ways. The first one is when a massive star runs out of nuclear fuel and collapses, causing it to go supernova. The second is when a white dwarf star gains enough mass by siphoning it from another nearby star.
Then white dwarf star colonized the local star to make itself bigger. Like what makes this a white dwarf star? It look like something ugly out of Guardian in the Galaxy, bro. Dang, he look like, I have a character in my, I can't think of their name, bro. He literally looked like he's sucking up poo. He's sucking out fart juice. Yuck.
Causing it to collapse and explode. But let's talk about what makes supernovas so scary. When a star goes supernova, it obliterates everything in its path and is powerful enough to destroy all life on any planet within 30 to 50 light years. For perspective, our sun is only about 4.2 light hours away from our furthest planet, Neptune. Even though
4.2 light hours from Neptune. So what is that? That's like, if I were to like jog to Neptune, it would probably take me around 257 Earth days.
supernovas are one of the most deadly events in the known universe, easily obliterating every living thing in their way. At least they make great screensavers.
How do we know it obliterates every living thing if we don't know any other living thing out there?
Number 2, black holes. Black holes are easily one of the most terrifying things in the known universe.
Now those are
mostly
scary.
due to the fact that we
Yeah.
don't fully understand how they work. But here's what we do know. There are
And it's the worst part when it started, when it's like they just drunk some milk too and they're lactose intolerant, bro. Black holes can be the worst because now it's just, it's a mess. Yuck. Drinking some milk before you go into bed, you know, you want to cuddle up and you just getting tooted on your stomach. Like,
Why?
two different types.
they can be the worst. Like, they're not always the worst. Are we still talking about the same thing?
First one is called a stellar mass black hole and is
I've never met no stellar mass black hole before. That sounds like a big old hole.
roughly 3 to 1,000 times the mass of our sun.
Oh,
These
it is
are
a big
created
hole.
when a large star goes supernova and collapses in on itself, creating a black hole. The second type is a supermassive black hole and can be millions to billions of times the mass of our sun.
Like, why do we keep making fun of the size of the sun? And this is why suns grow up insecure, because we always tell them how small they are and now they think they have to be big all the time. They end up getting big and they get shot. Like, stop making fun of the suns, bro. The insecurity when the sun hears all this and backhands you, bro, it's gonna affect all of us. So watch yourself. Not only one person is affected when that sun is bullied, bro. Goodness.
Also, we have no idea how these black holes are formed. And when I say we, I mean I couldn't find an answer using Google, got frustrated, and just came to the conclusion that the answer simply doesn't exist. But the most common theory I kept seeing is that a black hole must have swallowed another black hole, making it grow much larger. If there's anything I have learned while scripting this video, it's that astronomers and astrophysicists never give a simple answer to anything.
They sure don't. They just use big words to pretend like they know something. They don't know nothing.
So them resorting to the classic answer of, you eat, you grow, is quite comical. since I know firsthand that is not always the case.
It sure isn't.
But with that out of the way, let's talk about what makes black holes so terrifying. Well, for starters, one of these supermassive black holes sits right at the center of our galaxy, gobbling up pieces of the Milky Way as we speak.
Not me, though.
Another reason why they're so creepy is simply for the fact that they are completely invisible. As I'm sure you know, this is because black holes have a force of gravity.
And how do we see one? How do we see that planets are getting sucked up if it's invisible? What does invisible mean if we know what it is? That doesn't sound invisible to me.
So strong that nothing can escape it, not even light. So the only way we can see where they are in the universe is by seeing how they interact with their surroundings.
Okay. I'm looking and I think I see a black hole right here. I don't want to be that guy, but I actually see the black hole. Just saying.
But the biggest reason why black holes are so high on the list is simply because we don't know what would happen if you were to enter one.
Die.
Are they just wormholes? Or would you just get stretched out like a giant
piece
of spaghetti?
We just die.
I'm not kidding. That's the most agreed.
That's what it seems like. If anything in the active universe happens outside of the normal, we just die. That's always the repercussion. Oh, the sun gets tired of breathing, we all die. The sun starts breathing a little bit louder, getting a little bit bigger, we die. If we move a couple inches off our normal course of orbit, we die. That's just what happens. It's just death. Death is the end all be all.
Upon theory. They call it spaghettification.
What if we gather every human and we just all started trying to jump like on a certain side, or like we all go to China since China is already heavily populated, and we all just start jumping, trying to knock Earth off orbit. And we do. Like the second it's off orbit, we all just die, like instantaneous. Like we knock it 3 inches off orbit from us all jumping in the sun, we're just gonna get burnt up. At least that's what the sun told me.
Or could it be a portal to an alternate dimension? We really don't know. Either way, all of these are absolutely terrifying. Number 1, the size of the universe. Hands down,
that's probably the least scary thing that you said on here. All these other things basically said death, and you're talking about the size of the universe.
The fine thing about the universe is its size. Just allow me to present my case. Does this image scare you?
No.
What about now? Exactly.
You made it ugly. That's not fair. If you make something ugly, of course I'm gonna be scared. Take this same thing and make it bigger and look just like this. I'm gonna be like, oh, it doesn't scare me. Look at the nipples, bro. Look at the hands. Look at the teeth. The eyes.
Out now. Exactly. Let me show you a few more illustrations before I rest my case. For simplicity's sake, let's start at ground level. This is you. You're probably—
It's not me. Hold up. I got some guns on me, man. And my chin does not look like that. I am not double chinned up, and I have hair that I'm not going to show. But those quads are accurate.
Probably in your room. Your room is in your home. Your home is here on Earth.
Prove it.
Earth's home is in our solar system.
You don't know where I live.
Has 8 planets. Our solar system is part of the solar interstellar neighborhood, which is part of the Milky Way galaxy. Also home—
I ain't never met none of these neighbors. So what makes it a neighborhood? I don't know those people.
To at least 100 billion other planets. The Milky Way galaxy is part of the local galactic group, which is home to 3 other galaxies. The 3 galaxies are all inside of the Virgo supercluster, which has hundreds of galaxies and galaxy clusters. The Virgo supercluster is part of the local superclusters.
Who took a picture of this?
Superclusters sit right at the center of the entire observable universe.
And who observed this? Who looked at this dot right here and decided, oh, this one's brighter than this dot behind it? I'm just trying to figure out who this is. You know, that's why, man, I need to get I need to go on a NASA tour. I want to see how they seen all this. This looks like a bunch of BS to me.
Which spans 93 billion light years wide.
Did the light tell you that? Who says some light isn't faster than another? You know what I'm saying? See, you're putting all the light in the same category, like some lights aren't faster. You know what I mean? There is probably some light out there that makes this a 50 billion light years. That's how fast it is. It only takes it 50 billion. You feel me? If light is right here, this light is not the same as this light right here. Period. Trust me, I know light. It was a great main character. RIP.
But it doesn't end there. This is just what we can see with the current technology we have, and we have no idea how much larger the universe is or if there's even an end to it. But of course, this doesn't stop us from speculating on its size or what could potentially be out there. Are there alien civilizations far more advanced than ours?
The universe is just a BBW
with infinite possibilities.
Yo, I could be
or
Homer.
Maybe we're all just plugged into a computer, a simulation. After all, would this not be the best time in our known history to simulate? Or maybe Earth is flat and just like birds, space is not real.
Wait, did you just give the Earth a boob job? Like, what is happening right here? What is this top layer?
So none of this really matters. I guess in the end, it turns out that the scariest thing about the universe is not
that we
really
know
up in
nothing.
space, but instead lives here inside of our imaginations.
Oh. I mean, I wouldn't say my imagination, you know, because when I think of imagination, I think of SpongeBob and then that box, and they're just like, imagination. Like, that don't scare me at all. This was a beautifully constructed video. Creepiest content from the Japanese internet. How creepy is this one about to get?
We've all seen weird stuff online, but that's just the English side. The Japanese internet has stories about curses, disappearances, and strange mysteries that were never solved. And most people outside Japan have never heard of them. Today, we're exploring the creepiest content from the Japanese internet. We'll start with the strange cases and save the worst for last. The new goal, guys, is 2.5 million subscribers by the end of 2026. It's a crazy goal, so it would mean the world if you subscribe, and I will do my very, very best to put out the best videos I possibly can for you. I'm Visual Venture, and you are awesome.
Oh, thank you, Visual.
The mystery of the evaporated people. On Japanese social media, there's a hashtag that translates to husband missing. Under that hashtag, women post photos of husbands who left home and never returned.
Wow, that's depressing.
In Japan, there's a word for this. It's called johatsu.
Johatsu means evaporated people, and it is the term that Japanese use for when people disappear without a trace.
It's estimated that 100,000 Japanese people disappear each year.
Hello?
That number alone is unsettling. What makes it even more disturbing is that this has been happening for over 50 years. The term johatsu started being used in the 1960s.
Are you sure it could just be like
some people in Japan wanted to escape unhappy marriages, but divorce was a long and difficult process. So instead of going through the courts, they chose to run away. Soon others followed for different reasons. Japan's work culture was intense. Employees had to work long hours and remain loyal to
I'm pretty sure their work culture is still intense.
Company.
In many companies, your salary isn't really based on how good you are at your job, but how long you've been sitting in that company.
Some couldn't handle the pressure. They left home one morning and never returned. Others vanished out of shame. One engineer lost his job but felt too embarrassed to tell his family, so he disappeared. Another case.
You know how sad that is? You're going through the hardest time in your life, and you know your family wouldn't be supportive through this hard time. So you have to just pretend. You just have to leave. You can't even pretend like things are going well. You just have to leave in general.
It involved a family that owned a restaurant. They took out a loan they couldn't repay. When the debt became too much, the entire family disappeared. There were many more reasons.
Where did they go?
Even failing an exam can motivate people to disappear.
That is actually the case for many of your
speaking of failing exams, bro, you know those nightmares you may get, you know those dreams you may have before a test, or like, you know, studying for a test or whatnot, or missing school and you're like, oh, did I accidentally miss school or anything like that? Yeah, those dreams never go away. Those dreams are for life. You will be 35 waking up from a dream thinking that you failed math class. It doesn't stop. I promise you it doesn't. Bro, I just had a dream like 1 or 2 days ago, bro. And I'm like, why am I having these dreams? I'm not in school.
They chose to vanish because of depression, disappointment, rejection, and lack of support.
Lack of support, probably the biggest one.
Dissolving into thin air. That's why the Japanese called it johatsu, which means evaporation. The name came from the idea of water disappearing into the air. Now we get to the strangest part of this case. Most people didn't have the skills to disappear and build a new life, so an entire industry was formed to help them do it.
Japan is the only country I know that has an entire underground industry dedicated to helping people disappear.
That's
in Japan,
crazy.
there are companies known as yonigeya. In English, that means midnight escape agents.
That sounds kind of. Hey girl, yeah, I can't talk for long. My midnight escape agent is coming tonight. Yeah, he's gonna be staying for about 3 hours. I can't say too much. I'll talk with you later. Bye.
Agents offer services such as secret relocations, where a person could be transported to a new location overnight.
This is a crazy business model.
Midnight Escape agents operate openly. They have websites, logos, and office staff. They charge anywhere from $450 to $2,600. Once someone hires them, planning begins immediately. Days before the move, they help clients sneak out small items.
We should move this business model to the US.
If the
No, we
client
don't.
is alone,
No,
the
terrible
move
idea.
usually happens in the middle of the night. If an entire family wants to disappear, each member is sent on a fake errand that morning. By the time anyone notices, the home is empty. If the client
the whole family dipping because of debt. Like, I get it. I get it. It's just the thought of that is crazy to have a whole business model named after it.
has debt and is being watched by debt collectors, the movers find ways to avoid detection. Every detail is calculated. Then they transport the client to
What happens when
secret
these people are
towns.
found? Because there's no way they're
neighborhoods
perfect.
that have become hotbeds for Johatsu. And
Okay,
much
so they
like
have
the
been
people
found.
who call them home, they no longer officially exist.
What?
Some of these secret towns don't appear on Japan's official maps. In these places, people can rent rooms and work.
They have towns off map? Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy. They have towns off map. They manipulated every map in the country to make sure they don't show the towns.
Cash-only jobs without showing ID. For someone who wants to disappear, it offers a clean break. Imagine an entire town filled with people who were reported missing. Sounds pretty creepy to me. So if you ever scroll through Japanese social media, don't be surprised by all the missing person posts. It may seem scary to us, but over there, disappearing is actually a business. This next case is about a guy who took
That's
his
actually like terrible though, because what if the business model for helping these people disappear is just trafficking? And because it has such a good rep for some people, these people are already trying to disappear. So if these people disappear without anyone knowing, like that's an easy trafficking business model. I don't know about that, man.
obsession with a girl too far. The creepiest love story.
Oh gosh.
In 2011, a man went on an online Japanese chat room asking for advice. His post was titled, "Help. The girl I like won't respond to my emails." At first, people thought it was a simple dating question, but the more he explained, the creepier he seemed. The real problem was how obsessed he sounded. He was willing to do anything
Haven't slept
to win
for an
her over.
entire
Users
day?
soon realized they were watching a stalker situation unfold live. The man never shared his real name. For his story, we'll call him Kai. Kai
Okay,
said he
Kai.
liked a girl named Denko. They went to the same college, but he was too shy to confess his feelings. One day during their second year, they hung out in a group. He got her contact details. After that, they began texting. Then Denko suddenly stopped replying. 3 days passed with no response. Kai was worried. He thought maybe she was hurt, so
Bro
he
got
asked the chat room what to do. Before
He
giving
thought
advice.
she was hurt. Bro got ghosted and didn't think getting ghosted for was a real possibility.
Users asked one question. How many times did you message her? Kai's answer shocked everyone. He sent 600.
Yo, if someone ever sent me 600 emails, I gotta report to the police. Do you not have anything else going on? Holy!
100 emails in 3 days. That's like one message every 7 minutes. And he didn't see anything wrong with it.
The sheer number is alarming enough, but the way he just casually drops that in like it's a totally normal thing to do is wild.
Some in the chat room called
600?
it stalker level creepy. They told him to stop contacting her immediately, but Kai refused. He insisted
course.
he was in love. The chat room then asked what their conversation looked like before Denko stopped replying. Kai told them.
Bob, he gave a couple of examples of how their conversations
I bet
went
you it's about
when
to be the
Denko was
weakest-
still
the
replying,
weakest
which are honestly just
conversations.
ridiculous.
The messages were repetitive and boring. What do you do for fun? What do you listen to? At that point, some users began trolling him. They told
Yo, this man is real life like creepy, and they just egging him on. Oh,
to
brother.
send more emails and call her nonstop. They were being sarcastic, but Kai took them seriously. He bombarded Denko with more messages.
Something
Denko
gotta be wrong
finally
with Kai
replied. She wrote,
upstairs.
"Don't email me anymore." Most people would understand that clearly, but Kai didn't. He returned
Right.
to the chat room and posted her message. He asked what he should do next. When users told him to leave her alone, he refused. Instead, he took things to the next level. He went to Denko's house unannounced. What's
Dink dink. If you have his email, I think you might have enough information to tell the police. There's no way I'm getting 600 emails. Ain't no way, and I'm not reporting nobody.
disturbing about that is that he had her address. He knew exactly where she lived. And as we'll see in a second, that alone was enough to make her fear for her life. Most people don't
as she should.
realize how easy it actually
And here comes the VPN ad. Like, you're so good at incorporating this ad, man.
Kai arrived at Denko's house and rang the doorbell. Denko's mother answered. She appeared to know who he was because she stepped outside and told him, if you come by again, I'll call the police. Kai,
what do you mean if, no, you're supposed to call the police now. 600 emails is too, like pulling up unannounced, ridiculous. 600 emails, ridiculous. Police should have been called.
Went back to the chat room and asked why Denko's mom was mad at him. Users were blunt. They said Denko obviously told her mom that he was harassing her, but Kai rejected that explanation.
What are we talking about?
Instead, he blamed Denko's mother for interfering.
I know he's not about to kill his mom. I think crying it all out helped. Thinking about it, Denko hasn't said anything to me straight, so it's her mother's who's shady. But if she calls the police, my life is over, so I need a way to meet Dink. What the act? Okay, this is mind-blowing.
Wrote, I need a way to meet
this is
Denko
actually
without
absurd.
Involving her mom. A few days later, he returned to her house. This time, he didn't knock. He snuck around the property and peeked into Denko's room. Their eyes met. Denko screamed. Kai ran away. Hours later, Denko sent Kai a message. Don't call me or email me anymore, please. I'm sorry.
Call the police. What are you doing? Do you think it's gonna anger him more and put you more in danger? Like, that's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing. Maybe you think you'll be in more danger, but oh my goodness.
Sorry, but I'm really scared. If there's been a misunderstanding, then I apologize. But this is my last email. Please don't contact me again. I'm begging you. Denko feared for her life. After that, Denko changed her phone number and email address. Kai could no longer reach her. Again, that
but she still lives in the same spot.
Did not
like, that doesn't change. She still lives there.
Denko's best friend. He offered to pay for updates about Denko. The best friend agreed. He first paid 3,000 yen, which is about $20.
He sold it. They sold their friend soul for $20. Sold for $20, bro. Sold their soul for $20. Oh my God. Look, if they were hitting a lick, I still wouldn't understand, but at least I would listen. I'm not listening to nothing for no $20.
Over the next few weeks, he kept paying for information. One day, the friend told him Denko would be at a certain park. Kai went there. He found Denko. When Denko saw him, she snapped. She punched him and screamed at him to leave. He left to avoid causing a scene. Later, he returned to the chat room and explained what happened. He still believed it was just a misunderstanding. This time, the chat room turned on him. They told Kai he was the problem. Some even praised Denko for defending herself. After that,
he might be the densest man I've ever seen in my life. Like, no, like something's actually wrong with him, and it doesn't sound like he has any parents. It doesn't sound like he has any parents for guidance. He has no friends for guidance, and the only other person he's talking to is leaking the information. Oh my God. They said where she where's she gonna be at? Like, what are you doing? I think the only people denser than him might be anime main characters. That has to be it.
Kai claimed he stopped contacting her, but he kept posting in the chat room. He later revealed that he met another girl whom he paid.
Troll baiting. Most of the responses to the OP questions were okay.
In exchange for a relationship. That relationship also failed. On May 2nd, 2011, Kai made his final post. He wrote that he didn't understand how girls think at all.
That's what he got out of this.
After that, he disappeared from the forum. Kai never revealed his true identity, so no one could track him down. That also meant that no one could verify his story. In 2012, someone translated Kai's thread from Japanese to English and posted it on Tumblr. And that's how we know about this today. Many readers treated it like a joke, but it was most likely the real-time online diary of a creepy stalker.
Right.
The monster with 21 faces.
Huh?
In online Japanese chat rooms, there's one case people still discuss. It was a crime spree that happened in the 1980s. The group behind the crimes had a name straight out of a horror novel. The Monster with 21 Faces. For over a year.
That name is so hard. That name is so... Why can't we give hard names to good people? That name is so hard.
They kept Japan on edge. They didn't just commit crimes. They turned it into a sick game. The public first heard about the Monster with 21 Faces in 1984. That March, two masked men kidnapped Katsuhisa Ezaki. He was the president of Ezaki Glico, one of Japan's largest candy companies. The kidnappers broke into his home and took him while his wife watched helplessly. They left behind a ransom note.
A ransom note demanded Ezaki's company Glico turn over 1 billion yen and 100 kilograms of gold in a specified phone booth.
It was
what's 1 billion yen in USD? $6 million. Okay. how much is 100 kilograms of gold USD? Yeah, I don't know why I asked Siri that complicated question.
Largest ransom demand in Japanese history.
Bare minimum
Ezaki's
6 mil.
family contacted the police. Search teams spread out across the area. Meanwhile, the family gathered the ransom money, but the police wanted to catch the kidnappers, so they waited at the drop location ready to arrest anyone who came for the cash. The family placed the bag at the location and left. Officers...
Wait, they about to shoot anyone who goes for the cash, bro? Don't be nosy, cause you just see a bag of cash laying somewhere. Might look left, might look right. Scoop that thing up and I'm leaving that night.
Waited and watched, but no one ever came to pick it up. About 3 days later, after his abduction, Ezaki returned. He claimed he was tied up in a warehouse, but he managed to escape on his own. Unfortunately, Ezaki couldn't identify the kidnappers or provide police with any clues. The case could have ended there. Instead, it escalated. Weeks later, the group set fire to several cars at Glico's headquarters. That same day, the criminals sent letters to 2 major newspapers. The letters did 2 things. First, they mocked the police for not catching them.
Okay, so they just wanted attention. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like they did this for attention.
Fools. Are you stupid? With so many of you, what are you doing? If you're real pros, try catching me.
They also dropped...
Yeah, okay, yeah, they were having fun with it. They were having fun with it. Oh, that's crazy.
The car we used is gray, and the food was bought at Taiyei. If you want new info, beg for it in the newspaper.
The letter was signed, The Monster with 21 Faces.
He gave himself that name. You know, people who typically give themselves a name is so whack, but he gave himself such a hard name, dog.
Now the entire country knew their name, but the Monster was just getting started. In May 1984, the Monster sent another letter.
The Monster claimed to have laced $21 million worth of Glico products with potassium cyanide.
What?
Some reports said hydrocyanic acid soda.
How would you even do that?
They put poison in candy that was already in stores. The news spread fast.
I think they're trolling. There's no way. I think they're trolling. They did their first big stunt, right? Which was the kidnapping. Then they did the second stunt. And now they can just troll because it doesn't matter. They already believe they've already did things bad enough.
Japan panicked. Supermarkets removed all Glico products. Parents threw out candy. Glico lost $130 million from this.
What if they were hired by a competing company? Right? Okay, I don't know. Was the guy who was kidnapped, was that the CEO of Glico? Was that Glico CEO?
Katsuhisa Ezaki. He was the president of Ezaki Glico.
So they have a vendetta against Glico. They got hired out by someone to attack Glico because they kidnapped the head and then they loot. Wow. What did Glico do to them?
In the business, hundreds of workers were laid off. When investigators tested the candy, no poison was found.
No poison. I know there wasn't.
Was just bluffing, but the fear it caused was real. In June 1984, the Monster sent another letter. We're satisfied. The president of Glico has already gone around with his head hanging down long enough. We would like to forgive him.
What does
just
that
like that,
mean?
the attacks on Glico stopped.
Oh
No
my
ransom was
gosh.
paid. No arrests were made. Many believed the nightmare was over. They were wrong. A few months later, the Monster chose a new target. That October, they began threatening another candy company called Morinaga. A letter was sent to newspapers.
You know what this reminds me of? I don't know how many of y'all are gonna pick up on the reference I'm about to make. This reminds me of the Phantom Thieves in Persona 5, where they have to send notes to the people they're about to go and steal their hearts. That's what this feels like. They could have got influence from this. I wouldn't be surprised.
Addressed to the moms of the nation. In it, the Monster claimed they placed poisoned Morinaga candy in
we're not
stores.
believing it.
This time, it wasn't a bluff. Police searched supermarkets nationwide. They found over a dozen poisoned candies. Strangely, the Monster placed warning labels on them. Danger contains poison. You'll die if you eat this. The Monster...
Yo, what are they doing? How did they get in the stores and nobody see them? How are
with 21 faces.
I
Morinaga
guess no
sales
cameras
dropped
does that.
60% overnight. The company
They're
laid off
single-handedly controlling the stocks of this country.
The government had to intervene to prevent the business from collapsing. The Monster then threatened other Japanese food companies. One letter read, "We are the culprits involved in the Glico and Morinaga incidents. If you do not want to become another Glico and Morinaga, put out the cash. If you don't
what's crazy? They didn't didn't even get paid the first time around. Like they had the ransom, but they never got paid. They're doing this for the love of the game. I don't think they're ever going to get paid.
In your products. Several companies paid ransom. Meanwhile, police thought they were doing everything
they actually
to
did
find
pay.
the monster. They believed they were closing in. During one ransom pickup, an undercover officer was assigned to deliver the money. He boarded a train. Then he noticed a man watching him. The officer said the man had eyes like those of a fox.
He looked cunning, hunting, and they nicknamed him the Fox-Eyed Man.
But like,
when the officer tried to follow the man disappeared into a crowd. Days later, the police released a sketch of the fox-eyed man. They even identified a suspect.
A man called Miyazaki. Physically, he looked just like the Fox-Eyed Man, and he did also have a bit of a history with Glico.
But after the investigation, it
went nowhere.
Over time, police interviewed roughly 125,000 persons of interest.
Wow.
None of them were linked to the monster. Months passed with no arrests. The public was angry. The media criticized the government. The officer leading the investigation was dismissed.
The police is
calling it the biggest failure of his professional
Yamamoto. They're calling the police force
career. So out of embarrassment, the officer did the unthinkable. News of his passing shocked Japan. 5 days.
And that just speaks to the work culture that can be had, because you're telling me because he had a failed investigation he committed? I don't even think anyone died, because they said they set fires at cars, but they didn't say there was no casualties. There was no casualties. That's crazy. The amount of embarrassment, like, wow.
Later, the monster sent
he must have felt
letter.
for him to
they
do
talked
that.
about what happened to the officer.
Nokoria Yamamoto died like a man, so we decided to give our condolences. We decided to forget about torturing food-making company.
It sounded like they felt guilty about his passing and decided to stop. The letter ended with, "It's fun to lead a bad man's life." No one ever heard from the monster again. The case remained open for years, but in the year 2000, the statute of limitations expired. That meant even if the culprits were identified, they couldn't be prosecuted.
That's a crazy grandfather story. I know there's some grandpa telling their story right now about how they did that. Single-handedly controlling the fear of the Japanese and also controlling the stock market of certain food companies. That's wicked.
To this day, no one knows the true identity of the monster with 21 faces. But on the Japanese internet, this group is still a topic of discussion today. Up next is a story that made people afraid of browsing the web. The Red Room Curse. If you explore the darker side of the Japanese internet, one story keeps coming up. It's called the Red Room Curse. Some say it's just a myth. Others believe it's tied to evil spirits. The curse centers around a red pop-up window.
It's all about this pop-up that comes up when you're just browsing the internet, and it looks like a virus. Like it's just
this just reminds me of like that one TV ad where they're like driving on the hillside, and then there's this random monster lady thing that pops up that's like
pops up.
To some, it isn't just a normal pop-up. According to the legend, if the pop-up appears on anyone's screen, they won't survive the next 24 hours. And there were real-life events that convinced some people the Red Room Curse might be real. The earliest stories about the Red Room Curse date back to the late 1990s. Around that time, someone created a short animated video and uploaded it to a Japanese website. The cartoon followed two students who heard about the Red Room Curse. They were talking at school when one mentioned a rumor about a dangerous pop-up.
It's probably like Bloody Mary.
Your fate was sealed. The other student laughed it off. He didn't believe in internet curses. Later that night, he went home.
Once home, the boy, being skeptical about what his friend had told him, decided to look into it.
I'm gonna keep it a bug. If someone at school told me about some Red Room Curse, I'm like, yeah, that's not real. And I'm immediately forgetting it as soon as I get home. You know why? Because I'm coming after football practice and I've been at school all dang day and I have homework to do. I don't got time to think about no Red Room Curse.
Searched online for proof, but found nothing, so we gave up. Then, while browsing normally, a pop-up appeared.
The legend is about a pop-up box on the internet that reads, "Do you like?" in Japanese, which is also narrated by a girl.
He tried closing it. Each time he did, it came back. Eventually, the question changed to, "Do you like the Red Room?" Then the screen flickered and it went black. And many names started showing up in red. These were the names of everyone who had already seen the pop-up. None of them were alive anymore.
Interesting.
As the boy scanned the list, his heart sank. He saw his friend's name, the same friend who told him about the cursed pop-up. Then at the bottom of the list, his own name appear. It meant he was next. Suddenly he realized that someone was standing behind him. The animation never showed what happened after that. It didn't need to. The message was clear. The next day, both of the boys were missing. Reports said they were found lifeless. That was a story in the cartoon. But after watching it, many believers of this story weren't sure if it was just fiction or if the curse was real. No one wanted to investigate. As one person wrote, fiction. I really want to check it out, but I'm scared it'll be real. Then a real event made people even more scared of the curse. In June 2004, a Japanese schoolgirl ended her classmate. As part of the investigation, police searched her computer. They wanted to understand her motive, but they found something unsettling in her browser history.
The #1 bookmark on Natsumi's computer was a flash animation that depicted the Red Room curse.
The Japanese media reported the discovery. The Red Room legend was no longer just a story. It was now linked to a real-world tragedy. This connection—
and whoa, that's probably like the only tragedy it's been connected to—
stayed in people's minds. Years passed. The original animation that made the curse famous got lost. But the story of the cursed pop-up kept spreading. Some created video games based on it. Others made short films inspired by it.
Have y'all ever heard of it? I've never heard of the Red Room. Have y'all?
Online. Someone says their screen flashed red for a second, or a strange message popped up and vanished before they could screenshot it. The Red Room curse legend felt relatable. Anyone can get a pop-up while browsing, and the idea that seeing it means you're already doomed is what makes it scary. This next chapter is about a screenshot of a creature that some swear isn't human. The demon with no face.
Right. So first off, we're doing a creature with no faces. There's not many creatures like that in general.
In November 2020, a photo from a
be for real. Come on now. Regardless though, this is a crazy view.
Traffic camera went viral on the Japanese internet. It wasn't a car crash, weather update, or anything you expect to see on a traffic cam. It looked like a picture of a demon. At least that's what most people who saw it thought it was.
The camera that's just a man with a hoodie
at a place called the Izu Skyline.
That's all that is.
Mountain road in Japan. The cameras were installed for traffic and weather updates, so they captured images of.
Bro just wanted to look mysterious, like he is not about nothing.
Every hour and posted them on the website. On November 1st.
If you see this, bro, and you bout something, bro, I did not mean that. You really bout it. I did not mean that.
2020, a Twitter user was checking out the live feed from those cameras. Then he saw something strange. A figure stood near the side of the road. It was completely black and it wasn't moving. It simply stood there.
You know what's crazy? He's been practicing to get this one shot this whole, like, he's been practicing trying to get this shot for days, maybe even weeks. He's been trying to look like this for a minute.
The shape looked human, but it had no visible features. No matter how much he zoomed in, he could not see a face. It was just a solid silhouette standing upright. The user quickly took a screenshot. He posted the image on Twitter and asked if anyone knew what it was.
It's so bright, and yet the figure is all black. It's creepy. Also appears to be slightly bigger than a normal person.
What if it was just a person who just had like black construction paper on their backside or on their front side just so they could go for this flick?
The post triggered thousands of reactions. Some thought it was just a person
like that's how
in
easy
black
it
clothes
is.
or spandex, but the figure looked far too smooth. There were no creases or fabric lines. There was something else that made no sense. The figure had no shadow. That was unnatural. Then came the creepiest observation. The photo was taken on November 1st. That was the morning after Halloween. That detail shifted the entire conversation. Some began to think it was a supernatural entity, but others argued it was likely a prank.
Well, assuming the photo wasn't edited in any way, it was likely just a person trying to get captured by the live cam they knew. Took a picture at 6 a.m. every morning.
Even with logical explanations, the image continued to disturb people. There was no official statement from road authorities, and no one ever proved what it was.
Well, road authorities probably didn't care because they're like, it's kind of obvious that someone just applied to take a picture here. That's what they're all thinking. They're like, we actually have real life problems to deal with, and this is what y'all are talking about.
Continued operating as usual, and the figure never appeared again. Years later, it remains one of the creepiest images to come out of the Japanese internet. This next case was so unsettling that people made a movie about it. The Train Ride to Nowhere. In January 2004, a Japanese chat room asked users to share any strange things happening around them. Hundreds of users joined the conversation. They told stories about odd events and random coincidences. Then a user named Hasumi began posting. Her story was so unsettling that it made everyone stop and read. And it was unfolding in real time as she typed. Hasumi was typing while she was on a train heading home from work. It was late at night. The train was supposed to stop at her usual station, but it didn't.
It just kept going. 10 minutes passed, 15, 20. But still no sign of slowing down. No familiar station announcements.
Hasumi looked around. All the other passengers were asleep. No one seemed worried. Instead of
Okay. So it's just like a
Panicking alone, she posted on the online chat room asking what to do. People replied instantly. First, they told her to check the conductor, but she couldn't find him. Finally, the train stopped. Hasumi stepped off and posted the name of the station, Kisaragi Station. That wasn't her stop, and she never heard of that station before. Users in the chat room searched online. Kisaragi.
Why didn't she search online what Kisaragi station was? Why is she asking? Wait, why is she asking other people before she just look it up herself?
Station didn't exist on any map. No one in the group recognized the name either. Hasumi was stranded at a place that didn't seem to exist. All she wanted was to get home. Some users told her to stay on the train, but Hasumi already stepped off, and the train left before she could get back on. Now she was alone.
The station was completely deserted. Not a single person anywhere. The ticket office was dark.
If you have a phone, can't you call somebody? You doing all this posting online, can't you call somebody? You clearly have service if you're talking on forums, just call somebody.
Hasumi tried to find a taxi, but there was none. People in the chat room told her to walk along the tracks until she reached the previous stop. So she started walking. Then she heard a voice behind her. Someone screamed, "Hey, don't walk on the tracks, that's dangerous." When Hasumi turned around, she saw a man with one leg.
What is going on here?
He disappeared. Hasumi kept updating the chat room. She was terrified, but she forced herself to keep
doing anything but calling the police.
She saw a tunnel ahead and went through it. When she came out on the other side, she saw a man sitting in a car. He offered to drive her to a nearby hotel. She told the chat room and asked what to do. Users warned her not to get in. They said it was suspicious for someone to be there so late at night. But Hasumi said she was exhausted, so she got into the car. At first,
what'd you ask them for then?
Friendly. Then she realized he was driving in the wrong direction.
The driver wasn't heading toward any hotel. Instead, he turned into a narrow mountain road, driving deeper into the wilderness.
Hasumi
just
asked
sat
what
there?
was happening, but the driver ignored her. He was
I guess if they driving too fast and there's no way for her to get out anyways.
That's when Hasumi posted her final message. "My battery's almost out. Things are getting strange, so I think I'm going to make a run for it." After that, there were no more updates. Hasumi never posted again. Hundreds of users stayed online waiting for Hasumi's return. She never did. People formed theories about what happened to her at Kisaragi.
I just think it's fake. I don't think that's real. That don't even make sense. You're telling me she asking a random chat room for help before calling anybody? Like, let's be for real. That doesn't make a lick of sense.
Station.
Some said she must have slipped through a doorway into another dimension.
Who is saying that?
Others had darker explanations.
Maybe she died in an accident while dozing off, and what she experienced was her final journey to the afterlife.
Some believe the
Right.
The entire story was a hoax. People continued searching for any trace of Kisaragi Station, but they found nothing. 7 years later, someone claiming
nonsense.
to be Hasumi posted an update saying she survived. Most people didn't believe it. Over time, Hasumi's posts spread across the internet, and the mystery of Kisaragi Station became one of Japan's most famous internet horror stories. In 2022, a movie was made about it. To this day, no one knows how true her posts were.
That's crazy
All
how that
people saw was someone scared asking for help. Then
that's crazy how that's made into a movie.
She disappeared.
Like, I don't even think it's crazy enough to be a movie.
Anything to get attention, including risking other people's lives. The case of the fake survivor.
What does that
When
mean?
we talk about creepy content, it isn't always ghosts or curses. Sometimes it's real people doing strange
I thought that was
things.
nut
This is
floating in
one
the
of those
sky.
cases. It involves a man who pretended to be buried alive. It all started with a real tragedy. On January 1st, 2024, Japan was struck by a powerful earthquake.
Ooh, yep, I remember that.
7.6 magnitude earthquake
I remember that,
struck
yeah.
central Japan, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake.
Buildings collapsed and fires spread. But the most urgent crisis was the people trapped under the rubble. They needed to be rescued before time ran out. That same day, 25-year-old Ryodai Kanemaru was at home. He also lived in Japan, but he was miles away from the disaster.
So he was trying to.
He was completely
bro,
safe.
Was bro trying to just get like his 15 minutes of fame from faking his death?
The earthquake spread, Kanemaru opened Japanese Twitter. He wanted to see how people were reacting. There were several thousand posts requesting rescue at the time. The trapped victims became the focus of national attention. Kanemaru wanted that attention too, so he decided to lie. That night, he posted,
why do you want the attention and the attention be you lying about being trapped somewhere going to die? Like, why?
Family is trapped in our collapsed house. To make the lie believable, he listed a real address in Wajima, one of the hardest hit areas. His message got a lot of attention. People replied and told him to stay strong. Others said they would alert authorities. He probably loved the attention because he decided to tell another lie. He posted another desperate message asking for help. This time he used a different address. Once again, people online reacted with concern.
He's just doing things.
Repeated the lie.
This was before getting paid off of Twitter? Just for the love of the game.
Again and again. By the end of the day, he made about a dozen fake rescue posts. The next day, 10 officers went to the site posted by Kanamaru. They were there to rescue him, but they found no collapsed houses. All residents in the neighborhood were confirmed to be safe. The rescue team searched the area for about 20 minutes trying to find the person who asked for help. Eventually, they realized the rescue request was fake. But Kanamaru wasn't the only one doing this. Many others also posted fake rescue requests. A researcher later reviewed the rescue tweets.
The Institute said that there were over 1,000 tweets asking for help, and 104 were fake. Some of the posts included the name of non-existent places.
The situation became so serious that Japan's prime minister addressed it in a press conference. He called the posts malicious false information. It was a big issue because the fake posts sent them rushing to scenes where there was no one who needed help. Meanwhile, there were hundreds of real victims waiting to be saved. It was despicable. Police decided to track down those behind the fake posts and hold them accountable. Authorities analyzed Twitter accounts. They were able to trace the posts back to their sources. The investigation took time, but it produced results. In July 2024, the police arrested Kanamaru. The headline read, "Man arrested for making false rescue request on social media." He was charged with obstructing rescue work. When questioned, Kanamaru told police exactly why he did it. He said, "I wanted to take advantage of the earthquake to draw attention to my posts and get a lot of people to respond."
I feel bad for these people because clearly they just don't get enough attention day to day. And that's why they had to do this. Just anything for that dopamine hit, anything for communicating with people.
In simple terms, he wanted likes and shares on social media. And he didn't care if real victims were hurting while he did it. The Japanese internet.
I don't feel bad that they got in trouble. I just feel bad about how they think and how they feel like they have to carry themselves for attention. That's what I feel bad for. Like, it sucks that you're distracting the police because you want attention, but it sucks that you feel like you need to distract the police for attention too at the same time. Two things can be true.
It is full of stories that were never solved, never explained. Some are real and others legends. But maybe the creepiest stories are the ones somewhere
never told,
where your imagination fills in the rest. Visual venture.
I'm about to visually venture into my imagination, and it's getting filled. It's getting filled a lot. Thank you, visual. My imagination, it won't stop filling. Great video, bro. Disturbing mythical creatures you've never heard of.
Here are the most terrifying mythical creatures to ever exist.
Your mother. Oh my gosh. An intellectual genius. Woo! Hey, no one's ever got that one off before. No one's got it like me.
Or not exist, hopefully.
The Managal? I know the Managal was catching bodies based off of that name. Oh my goodness.
Mananagal is a monster originating from the Philippines, and its name roughly translates to one who separates itself.
Like he ripped his bottom leg off?
It's a fearsome and disgusting creature, usually resembling a disfigured old woman at first.
Okay.
Its name comes from its unpleasant habit of fully detaching its torso from its lower body, entrails hanging out all over the place, and then sprouting enormous bat wings and just flying away into the night to hunt for food.
That's odd.
What food, you ask?
Just kidding.
Well, during the hours of darkness, it will use its long proboscis-like
I'm guessing humans.
Human victims.
That's what I was about to say. Like, what else is gonna get?
Newlyweds, lovers, newborn children, and
so she's hating on people who found true love in people who are in their youth because she's old, alone, and cranky. That's nasty.
Grooms who were abandoned before marriage.
Grooms who were abandoned. So she's attacking everybody.
And it's even known to extract fetuses from the bodies of pregnant women.
Imagine you wake up middle of the night because your stomach getting some kicks and you're like, you know what, I just need to get some water. Yawn. Roll off the side of the bed. You're sitting up, and in front of you is a half old lady with a long tongue, and she hits you with the, I'm gonna fuck you so good. And she just puts that tongue right into your stomach, and you just get sucked, and you're just like, ah!
What, you thought I was going to draw that, you desensitized freak? Nah. Here's a kitten instead.
Ew.
While it's hunting, the Manananggal makes a sort of ticking sound, and the farther away the sound
I used to have nightmares. I had this friend who was like, yeah, back in the day, there used to be these flying humanoid beasts who would come down and snatch kids and eat them. And then like 2 weeks later, I had that same nightmare. And then I was scrolling on YouTube and I saw something that kind of fit the description of what he was describing. And I'm like, bro, like ever since he told me that, now I'm getting spooked, look up in the sky, thinking someone's gonna come and snatch me.
The closer the creature actually is, in order to confuse its victims. During its nightly hunt, the creature's lower half is just left standing somewhere, and this tiny design flaw is its one weakness. If you want to kill the Manananggal, and let's face it, you probably do, you need to prevent the horrifying upper half from reuniting with its butt.
So basically you have to take the bottom half and give it infinite pleasure that it was never able to receive. And then you have to show it like that's the reason why these people want to be together forever. And then she finally understands like, oh, I just need a good eater. So instead of going around killing the best eaters, right? Instead of killing them and children, okay? Killing the best eaters and space children, I need to just go find me a good old man. So instead now she's visiting nursing homes, trying to find the old men, but not the white ones with dementia who are racist. You know, not the white ones who are with dementia who wake up, they see a black nurse, they're like, oh no! Is that a nigga? Yo, nursing homes is one of the worst places to work at, dog. Nursing homes are terrible, bro, especially as a woman. Those old people be groping you. They be touching you and you can't do nothing about it because they're old and everyone's like, oh, they're so old, you can't do nothing about it. It's terrible, it's terrible, it's terrible.
I recommend burning the thing, but you can also use salt, ash, or even garlic to ward off the torso.
What do you mean you recommend? You ain't never held one
joined its severed ass by daybreak, it is believed to die. Thank goodness. Despite the world getting more modern by the day, sightings of—
If I was in traffic like this, bro, I would cry. This is why I hate being in the city, bro. If I had to deal with anything like this, bro, I'm absolutely not. Imagine trying to come out from wherever this is. Yeah, Uber me.
World getting more modern by the day, sightings of these creatures continue to be reported, especially in the Visayan regions of the Philippines. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, or you might just get a visit from one of these gals tonight. Don't say I didn't warn you, because I just did. If you thought that was awful, hold on to your knives and
I'm gonna do something with her tongue, alright. She better wish she don't bring her tongue out around me.
Creature in this whole video, and
you better hope she don't bring that tongue out. She bring that tongue out around me, I'm gonna rub it around something. The Deadly Whistler,
also called El Sibon, is different from the other creatures on this list. And his story is something of a cautionary tale. Originally, this creature was an ordinary boy, and he was a spoiled brat who always got everything he wished for.
Wow.
One day, he told his father to go out and hunt a deer, his favorite meat, to eat for dinner. His father did not return with a deer. In fact, he returned from the hunt with nothing at all.
The dead body?
And so the boy killed his father and cut out his organs.
It's like if a king sends you out on a mission, you come back with nothing, and you get the death penalty immediately, bro. Oh, brother.
Which he gave to his mother and said, "Father has brought us some meat for dinner." Well, that escalated quickly. The boy's mother cooked the meat, but quickly realized what had happened.
This meat tastes familiar. This meat tastes familiar. It's his testes, bro. You ate cooked testes before?
The part of the story that I've just told you greatly varies between tellings, but the next part is always the same. The boy's family ties him to a post and whips him, and cleans his wounds with alcohol, chili peppers, and lemon juice. Ouch. They give him a sack of his father's remains, which they curse him to carry for eternity. Then 2 rabid, starving dogs are released upon him. The skeletal creature that came out of this terrible circumstance would be called El Sibon.
So like, why didn't the dad just fight back? Or did he just get caught off guard?
But the deadly whistler
probably got caught off guard.
Standing at about 6 meters tall and creaking about the
6 meters? The kid grew forever? 6 meters. Imagine 2 shacks plus half a shack. That's basically what 6 meters is.
Treetops with its bag of bones. If you hear El Sibon whistling from nearby, it means you are in.
What was that? I know I'm not tweaking, bro.
Sibon whistling from.
I'm not letting this slide. You're not letting this slide, by man.
Whistling from.
Oh my god, bro.
If you can read this Right. No, you spitting, bro. That was so hard.
Nearby, it means you are in no danger. But if the whistling sounds distant, it means that your death is closer than you think.
No!
It's said that the whistler can appear by your house on certain nights and drop his sack to the ground.
What
to count
night,
the
though?
bones within,
Like, what certain nights?
One by one. If someone in the house hears the whistler outside, nothing bad will happen. However, if he spends the night counting unnoticed until dawn, someone in the house will die.
So if he's real sneaky with it, someone dies?
Their bones will be added to the bag. If you like this video so far, please don't forget to like this video.
Video's
and
amazing
if you
so
don't
far.
like it so far,
the knuckle chucker, the knuckle.
The Nuclavi is a sea creature demon coming from Orcadian folklore.
That's straight out of Attack on Titan.
From the islands of Orkney. No tales describe what it looks like when it's dwelling down in the depths, but an islander named Tamas claimed to have
He's an Irish Scottish man
and described its on-land appearance in impressive detail. According to Tamas, the Nuclavi has a man's torso attached to the body of a horse as if it were a rider, except
like
the torso has
centaur.
no legs. It's just fused with the equine's back.
Yep.
The man's long arms can reach the ground from where he sits.
So he can do push-ups.
Its shoulders is an enormous head up to 3 feet in diameter.
3 feet? The average size head of y'all.
Oh, I forgot to mention that the
That thing
Nuclavi has
ugly.
no skin, with black blood pulsating through yellow veins. The horse's head has an enormous gaping mouth that exudes toxic vapors, and one single eye burning like a red flame. The creature's breath was thought to wilt crops, sicken livestock, and cause epidemics.
What if he's just misunderstood, though?
In 1722, one of the islands of Orkney began the practice of burning seaweed for a number of boring reasons, including making soap and glass and improving soil for farming. The point is, the pungent smoke emitted by doing this is believed to have enraged the Nuclavi and made it go on a wild rampage, causing plagues.
Let's keep it a buck, though. If we really want a one-on-one in the Nuclavi, we knocking them out. We taking the Nuclavi easily. Like if we ran the ones, you know what? If we ran the 2v1, me and you versus Nuclavi, we clocking his. Ooh.
Crops and killing cattle and horses. This disaster seemed to spread to all of the islands in the business of burning seaweed. It's said that, like many sea-dwelling mythical creatures, the Nuclavi can't cross borders of fresh water.
Of course
so
they
if you're
can.
ever being chased by it, just jump across a creek or something and hope for the best.
What about start throwing water
next
at
on
it?
the list of disturbing.
If I just start spraying it with some Deer Park, spray it with the Dasani. If you spray with Dasani, it's out of there. He not surviving Dasani.
Mythical creatures is
right.
The Aztec civilization believed that before there was anything, there were these 4 god dudes named these lovely names.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which I can pronounce. I just don't feel like it right now.
Same, twin.
Using their godly powers, as gods do, these guys created the water, some more gods, and most importantly, Cipactli, a sea monster existing on the cosmic scale that had an insatiable appetite for everything it could get its mouths on.
I'll let you know, bro. If I saw Cipactli, I'm peeing in the ocean. You're not about to, he gonna have to worry about this one right here.
This creature was so hungry all the time.
What the heck is that?
Every joint on its body possessed a different mouth.
Sukuna?
Elbow mouths, knee mouths, knuckle mouths, you name it.
Bro trying to tongue you down from the knees? Oh, he's a freak.
This begs the question. If each joint has a mouth, and mouths themselves have joints, for jaws and stuff, did the creature's mouths have mouths? And did those mouths
stomachs
have more mouths, and so on?
Like,
anyhow,
what about his stomach,
the gods
though?
continued on with the creation of everything, they realized they had a problem. Everything they made would just fall into the ocean and get eaten by Cipactli.
Right.
So, being gods, they decided they should probably do something about this. But it wasn't as easy as just snapping their fingers and fixing the whole thing. Cipactli was so powerful, so enormous, and so hungry that it took all 4 of the original gods to take him down, and one of them lost a foot in the process. Eventually, though, they did manage to kill him by separating his body into 4 sections, one for each compass direction. Using Cipactli's body, they created the entire world. The creature's head became the 13 heavens, its midsection was crafted into the earth, and
So we're walking on Cipactli. We're walking on Cipactli, right?
Its tail became the underworld. The last mythical creature on this list is by far the scariest of all. If you've heard of it, you know all too well that the people who believe in it are afraid to even utter its name. This is, of course, the...
I was so close, Skinwalker, okay.
The stories of skinwalkers originate from Navajo culture, an indigenous people of the southwestern United States. You've probably seen memes and videos all over the internet of creepy animals and dudes in spooky costumes hiding in the trees with captions like, "Guys, I found a skinwalker, ah!" But these could not be further from the reality of these creatures. In Navajo culture, there are people that practice medicine and types of magic for the benefit of the community.
I think we can one-on-one a Skinwalker. I think if Skinwalkers were really like that, we wouldn't be able to one-on-one them. They wouldn't be so scared, but I think we can take one. I think we can eat one up real good.
As healers or medicine men, they may learn about
In fact, I want a Skinwalker to look like you so I have more motivation to beat the brakes off of it.
Magic for the purpose of protecting against evil. Witches are essentially the opposite of these healers. Their dark reflection, if you will. Oftentimes they start out as medicine men, but they use their knowledge of evil magic to hurt others.
Yeah, be poisoning
the corpses of humans to do their work. They make their tools from human bones and use parts of the body to make potions, which they use to kill or hurt others.
Oh, okay, witches.
To become a skinwalker,
a
witch must kill a close family member, preferably a sibling.
Wow.
This gives them the ability to shapeshift into different animals.
So a Skinwalker is a witch who killed a close family. Okay. Okay. I didn't know they had a backstory like that. But that's probably how they know we could run the ones with them, because they're just a normal person.
Usually predatory animals like bears, coyotes, and wolves, but they can assume the shape of any creature. They choose their shape based on the abilities they need to do their evil work, such as claws, stealth, speed, or strength. When in human form, the
if they want
wears
speed,
the
they shouldn't go rabbit.
Of the animal they transform into, and their eyes look like those of that animal. And when in animal form, their eyes look human. By day, these witches walk among the humans of their tribe unnoticed.
Right.
But at night, they transform to cause illness, death, and destruction wherever they go. They can even read minds and control their victims to
read minds?
They're often blamed for causing all manner of mysterious mischief and trouble. My channel is still small
and that's
enough
why
that
like they were burning witches at the stake, you know?
Pretty easily read every comment I get, so let me know, which of these horrifying mythical creatures do you think was truly the most disturbing? And
the most disturbing? I'm gonna have to go with half lady who wants to go eat pregnant people and eat babies. That's pretty disturbing. Skinwalkers, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Skinwalker is just chill. And this bro here, I mean, he's spooky looking, but he really not about nothing. The horse has one eye. If you don't just flick something in his eye, he also look like something out of a regular show too. And if Mordecai and Rigby can survive something like this, I can for sure. Horrifying mythical creatures you've never heard of.
Here are the most terrifying mythical creatures to ever exist. Again.
Wendigo! I only know Wendigos because of Until Dawn. Speaking of Until Dawn, I'm about to eat potatoes until dawn.
Winters in the Great White North of Canada can be terrifyingly hostile.
No.
And for the native Algonquin people living there who relied on the wilderness for their next meal, starvation was a constantly looming danger.
Okay.
In times like these, when the natural food on the land is scarce, a human may be forced to make a grim yet simple choice. Succumb to death, pained by hunger,
or eat your friend.
A fellow human and be transformed into a Wendigo. The creatures are described as looking gaunt and emaciated. Their gray, ash-colored skin stretched tightly over their bones.
I've never seen a Wendigo depicted as this. They've always been more humanoid. This looks more like a Wendigoose.
With lips tattered and bloody from feasting on human flesh, They stink with the odors of decay,
Ooh.
death, and corruption.
Now that would be freaky, bro. I would almost be scared to run the ones with him. But look at him. He's all skin and bones. He has no power to him.
And their hearts are solid ice. It's said that with every meal, the Wendigo would grow in proportion relative to the size of whatever it ate, so that they could never feel full. Their whole existence felt like they were constantly on the verge of...
He kind of farming, though. Hold on. He kind of... Look at him. He farming like crazy.
Starvation. Forever craving the taste of the people they once lived alongside. Interestingly, Wendigo psychosis is actually a term used in modern psychology to describe intense cravings for human flesh, and the paranoia...
Wendigo psychosis?
That you could become a cannibal yourself. In our modern consumerist society, this isn't something most people have to worry about.
People got some crazy intrusive thoughts. You might be with your kid on a stroller and someone glances at your child and they're just thinking like, oh, I want to eat that. Oh, imagine just throwing that child into the oven. Paprika, salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic. Oh, minced onions. Oh. But you have to keep it pushing.
But for native tribes in times of famine, it was a very real possibility that your next door neighbor and your next meal were one and the same.
Kuchisake Onna. What country is this out of? I don't want to make no guesses.
Kuchisake Onna is a little...
Woo! I mean, perfect pronunciation on my end. Perfect. I am a bilingual, trilingual, come and mingle connoisseur. I really am, but goodness, I impress myself sometimes.
Different from the other monsters on this list.
Awesome.
In most versions of her story, she was once the beautiful wife of a proud samurai. However, she grew lonely as her husband was always off at war, and so she began having affairs with other men in the Japanese town in which she lived.
Which is crazy because look, y'all think people were gone during war a long time now. You know what I'm saying? Some people be deployed, they're deployed for 1 year or whatnot. That's overseas. When they were gone, her husband probably not coming back for like 3 years. Traveling alone is taking up at least 2-3 months. Like, golly.
When the samurai found out about this, he was outraged. And as punishment, he sliced the corners of her mouth open from ear to ear, and she died. But that is not where her story ended.
No, that's crazy.
For after her death, Kuchisake Onna returned as a vengeful spirit.
Goodness.
She covers her face with a mask or other covering of some sort, and to most people appears as a completely normal, attractive young woman.
They've definitely made a horror game about this.
In her hand are razor-sharp scissors as she chooses her victim.
They've definitely made a horror game about this.
Kuchisake Onna might appear before you and ask you a simple question.
You want some dick? What does that mean?
Which translates to, am I beautiful? If you answer no, she will kill you with her scissors. And if you answer yes, she will remove the mask from her face
8 out of 10.
to reveal her mouth, sliced open from ear to ear in a horrifying, joyless smile. Kore demo? She asks.
How about now?
Or how about now?
Oh my goodness! I told you I'm a trilingual king! Oh my gosh, man, I really do this. Use the same one too. Oh my, I gotta throw my, hold up, like.
How about now? If you answer no, or scream, or try to run, she will kill you.
Trying to run is hilarious.
And with her supernatural speed, there is no escape for a mere mortal like yourself. And if you tell her she is beautiful despite her disfigurement, then, using her scissors, she will cut your mouth to match her own.
So you don't win? Like, you die regardless? Is 100% death? That's whack.
There are actually a few ways to survive an encounter with this creature.
Oh, it's awesome, man.
In response to her questions, you can simply tell her that you're running late and had best be going, and she will politely bow and apologize, and you can go on your way. Alternatively, you can tell her that she is average looking and leave it at that. Unlike most big YouTubers, I still try to read each and every comment I get, so let me know what horrifying mythical creatures you'd like to see the next time I do one of these videos.
I don't have any off the top of my head. Black Annies? What about Black Nannies? Wait, no, that's not a terrifying mythical creature. My fault. Oh no. Black Annis! Black Annis!
English folklore describes Annis as an old, blue-faced woman with a single eye.
Wow.
Beneath a great oak tree, she lives in a cave that she carved herself out of the rocks using her deadly iron claws. On dark nights, she could
Poor
be found
thing.
hiding in her oak tree, waiting for an unsuspecting child from a nearby village to wander below.
You child hunting?
If no victims were forthcoming, Annis would go into the village and reach through open windows and snatch children straight out of—
Imagine getting your child snatched by some random anus, bro. Like, go on, go live your life, bro. Stop, get your anus from my child, man.
Once she had returned to her cave with her prey, she would skin the children with her iron talons and put their flesh aside for later use.
Like the skin
slowly
stapler.
Devouring her flayed victims.
From that one horror game.
Then she would sew the skins together to make
that's kinda
clothing
hard
for herself.
It would have been hard if like she was taking like grown men though. You know what I'm saying? Taking kids just makes it kind of you know what I mean? But if she was taking grown men and then sewing them, that's kind of hard.
Black Annis was mostly just a story used to scare children into good behavior through paranoia and anxiety, but she was also more than that. Houses in the town she was believed to inhabit were intentionally built with smaller windows to stop her from reaching through, and an otherwise serious-minded man named John Hayrick wrote a full poem—
He said an otherwise serious-minded. That means this is the only situation he's not serious in?
Documenting the village's knowledge of the creature, fully believing in her existence himself. Here's the full poem if you'd like to pause and read.
When down the plain, the winding pathway falls, from Grenfieldville to Leicester ancient walls, nature of art with imitative power, far in the glen has placed Black Annis Bower. Why is her name Black Annis if she not black? She blue. Why can't she be Blue Annis? Or we just saving the word blue for waffles? I don't know, man. Krasu? Kirisu? I can't tell if that was an I
From
read.
the folklore of Southeast Asia,
Talk to
the
me.
Krasu is said to be the demonic—
I got it right the first time. I couldn't tell if it was an I beside it. It wasn't an I. Oh my. I'm so good at. She is really flying intestines and face. If the only thing she has is mouth, I know she give vicious head. Lock in, bro. I'm PG. Lock in.
Spirit of a woman who committed various evil acts in her life, such as infidelity, murder, or drinking the last of the chalky milk. After she dies, the woman's sins cause her to be reborn as the demonic Krasu, which appears as a woman during the day and can walk among humans unnoticed.
Right.
By night, however, the Krasu is able to detach its head from its body and fly off into night with all of its internal organs dangling from its neck. The heart, liver, lungs, stomach, intestines, and the rest all out on full display. The Krasu's favorite midnight snack is, unfortunately for you, the flesh of humans.
If you don't go and swing on, it's literally floating intestines. If you don't grab her intestines and start eating it, oh, she's coming at me with flying lungs. Like, snatch the lung off, man.
She'll fly around in search of unsuspecting children.
How is she
and
flying?
when she can get them, pregnant women, because it's a 2-for-1 special.
Why is she going after kids again?
Though sometimes she'll just extract the fetus and go. You can protect yourself from this creature by putting up some spiky fences or plants to guard your house, as the Krasu's dangling organs might get stuck in them. If the head cannot return to its body by daybreak, the creature will burn up in the sunlight.
She's a skeleton. Vitala?
The legendary Vitala are evil spirits coming from Hindu mythology. They're said to haunt cemeteries, and with no physical body of their own, they can take possession of human corpses in order to interact with our three-dimensional world.
That's OP.
Once they've acquired a body, they get up to all kinds of unsettling mischief, such as killing children, driving people mad, and causing miscarriages.
Everyone just hates pregnant women!
Basically a typical weekend's activities for me, but whatever. These spirits do evil things because they are the tormented human souls of those caught in the space between life and the afterlife, with nowhere to go from there unless someone performs their funerary rites to set them free. However, most people are more inclined to try to capture these spirits, as existing outside the laws of space and time.
You want to capture them so you can train them and use them like Pokemon, or you want to train them in the laws of war so you can go attack the neighboring countries for their resources. I know who you are.
They have a vast knowledge of the past, present, and future, and deep insights into human nature, and so they make great slaves for sorcerers.
If they know all of that, how are they slaves? Shouldn't they be locked? Oh, I have all this knowledge, but they're still a slave. Cap.
As always, thank you very much for watching.
Amazing video. Just a rock in space. Wait, he made himself into the whatchamacallit. Aw, he's a demon.